Well, well, well. What is good, family? FOG's back in the building. Shout out to everybody who just tapping in. Welcome, come on in, come on in. We about to get into it. As I'm sure most of you know, Flesh of the Gods has temporarily been demonetized. So, this one here is for the love. It's on the strength. It's all good, family. No cost to you. Just be here and show some love. That's all I ask. Let's get it, family. Let's get into it. Appreciate y'all being here. Shout out to No One. What's good, family? I see you in the building. Holding it down. All right, all right, all right. Let's get into it. Welcome, everybody.
As far as Daryl's mother, I know you already told me, but just my hold on. How many times have you seen her in public since the parade?
About 4 times. I've ran into her. I've been close to her like I am around Corey. Walking on Atkinson and Capitol, and she gets off her little bus and going to a little damn the little grocery store, Galaxy, Galst. I ran into this mama more than once, and she don't say to me. We don't talk. I walk past her, she walked past me.
The obvious, Erica Patterson. I want you to know, if you're watching, I always have love for you. You're one of the mothers of my children. I can never hate you. I refuse to go that route. Always have love for you. I always respect you. We got a beautiful daughter. I haven't always been right in the things that I've said, things I've done in regards to you. What I will say is, it always takes two.
This nigga said it always takes two. What up, what up, what up, family? Shout out to Jerome Street. Tack Clouds, I see y'all. Welcome, welcome, family. What up, Brooklyn? I see you. Tall Glass, what up, what up? I see you. We getting into it. Appreciate y'all being here. Let's get it started.
90 years, how that could potentially play a
Oh yeah, by the way, so that's Daryl Brooks that we just saw first. This one here is Ronnie O'Neal. They both did some crazy stuff. Brooks ran down some people in a parade, and Ronnie O'Neal here killed his own family. Crazy stuff was going on out there. And we also got coming up today your boy Redden, who jumped over the thing and got at the judge. We got all that coming up. Chot Diggy in the house. What's good, family? Appreciate you joining. We just get into it. Appreciate y'all, family.
role in the course of his life.
I definitely think that there's some sort of mental health issue going on there. I don't know if he was tested for it. I do believe that if he tries to appeal, or if he hires someone to appeal, that's what they're going to. You know, I want to show that regardless of anything, that there is still hope. Can you refresh your recollection?
Yeah.
Yeah, Coach?
Yes. Me. Oh.
I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry.
That was a judge that was laughing before he jumped up over there. So this right here is your boy opening statements. Ronnie O'Neal opening statements. You know, he represented himself, same as Daryl Brooks too. They both represented themselves. But it's we in for a doozy for this one. This one, cut your TVs down low. Make sure the kids are up. You know, content warning. What's that? What y'all be saying? What's that called? Trigger warning, all that. Let me put a trigger warning up or something, cause yeah, it's about to get a little crazy. Appreciate y'all being here.
Evidence is going to show that we are under some of the most vicious, lying, fabricating, fictitious government you ever seen. By the time it's all said and done, you will see who is the mass murderers in Tampa Bay, the state of Florida. You will know why what occurred on March 18, 2018 occurred. And the evidence is going to show that law enforcement tampered with evidence to meet their such high burden of proof. Because originally, it wasn't enough. So we had to tamper with evidence. Since it was such evident already, but we still had to tamper with evidence.
My bad. If y'all didn't hear me, that's Ronnie O'Neal right there, right now, getting started up. He just getting warmed up. You ain't seen nothing yet. He just getting warmed up. JT in the building. Tat, tat, tat. What the fuck, man? Tat Clouds, what up? T Roberts, what's good, family? Jerome Street in the building. What's good, what's good, what's good? Jerome Street in the house. Watch your mouth. No one. What's good, family? Laugh always, have fun.
The evidence is going to show
JT.
my son did not see me murder his mom. The evidence is going to show he did not see me shoot his mom. The evidence is going to show my son said many things that are not true. The evidence is going to show that I called 911 during Kenyatta Barron's 911 call. But all of a sudden, it ends up after I called Kenyatta, after Kenyatta Barron's call was made. Now I'm calling 911. But originally, I called 911 without even knowing she called 911 during her call. But the evidence is going to show that your representatives and law enforcement, local law enforcement, wanted to make it seem like I'm some kind of menace to society. And I ran after killing Kenyatta Barron, knowing that authority was on the way to kill my own children. I wonder why I would do
My son did not witness me viciously beat his mom to death. The evidence is going to show my neighbor, Khalil Brown.
Hey, he sound like Love, don't he? Remember Love all through YSL trial, her opening statements? The evidence is going to show. The evidence is going to show. Tell me this ain't Hilton during closing arguments. I was just thinking the same thing. Hilton and Love. The evidence is going to show. That's how you know they lying once they start saying that.
Whom they are trying to keep out of this trial, witness me take 3 strikes. The evidence is going to show that law enforcement and this administration wanted to make me look like a menace to society. So they added several mini strikes on that video and audio that you just heard. And they added several statements that I did not say. Anything that I may have said, they exacerbated it and made me say it consecutively over and over like Allahu Akbar, which I may have said once or twice, but they wanted to make me seem like a terrorist, and so you hear it 8 or 9 times, and you hear me calling Kenyatta Barron a bitch and a whore. The evidence is going to show that I called my dad after calling 911. But that call is all of a sudden missing from the T-Mobile records that we have acquired from T-Mobile. The 911 call that I made to 911 and the 911 call that you just heard cannot be proven that it was made, because after I called for an investigation of those 911 calls, all of a sudden they become missing from all evidence. The evidence is going to show Kenyatta Barron supposedly made a 911 call, but you cannot find that on her call log, which we pulled from her actual phone. They say she made a call at 11:43. There's no 911 call at 11:43 on her call log. All of a sudden, after I called for an investigation of the original calls, that's what the evidence is going to show. The evidence is going to show I look alone.
You don't claim him, Tat? You don't claim him in the debate? You talk about Florida, right? Because that's where he from. I think, ain't he from Florida? Are you? I know you ain't talking about the Bay like Cali.
I'm back by mighty God. The evidence is going to... But I'm back by mighty God.
Shut the fuck up!
The evidence is going to show I love my children. And the evidence is going to
better than Love though, low key though. I ain't gonna lie. I'd rather him as my lawyer than Love. He doing kind of good. He holding it down. Oh wait, that well, I mean, just as far as self-representing, that's just that part, self-representation. He
For some of you who don't know what that is, that's the criminal report affidavit that the law enforcement lead detective Thomas Dirks is the author of. The evidence will show that in that CRA, I told the neighbor, don't come outside, call 911 now. But you don't hear that on this audio for some reason. But you hear all these other things that I did not say. That same CRA will have the statements of Khalil Brown saying that he saw me take 3 strikes with that shotgun and nothing else. The evidence is going to show that Mr. Harmon here says that that big chunk missing out of her arm was a bird shot. It was not a bird shot. And whatever kind of shot it was, if it was a slug shot or a bird shot, where's the missing pieces of her arm? The evidence is going to show you will not see any missing pieces of her arm in that closet where she was shot. You should see some evidence.
Did he just say the evidence will show you will not see missing pieces of her arm in the closet after he shot her with a gauge? What the hell's going on with this dude?
Missing pieces of her arm in that closet where she was shot. You should see some evidence of
Parade tragedy in Waukesha, Wisconsin. Late today, the suspect was in court to face charges, and prosecutors revealing a 6th person has died, a child. The suspect, Darrell Brooks, will now face 6 counts of intentional homicide. In court today, prosecutors said this was an intentional act to strike and hurt as many people as possible. Images of that red SUV speeding down the parade route.
So this is the dude, Darrell Brooks, the other one that was talking in the beginning with the orange. This is what happened with his situation. It's just a little bit clipped in. What up, Daniel Berry Sports Highlights? I see you, family. Appreciate you joining. Miss D in the building. What's good? What's good? Nameless in the building. What's good? I see you, family. Yeah, I'm on YouTube probation right now. They got me locked up. That's a fact. Where I'm going to put my 5 on it at. Hey, if you got the Cash App, if y'all got the Cash App, the link right down there, I will definitely appreciate it, family. Every little bit helps.
Heading toward a marching band, weaving right there around them, and then driving on. And that haunting image from above, slamming directly into marchers. In addition to the 6 who were killed, authorities say 62 people were hurt. And tonight, those new images of the suspect, a short time after the parade crash. Authorities say he drove through the parade and then knocked on the door of this home, saying he was asking for help in getting an Uber. Shortly after, police arriving there and arresting him. Tonight, that suspect before a judge. And ABC's Alex
Perez from Waukesha tonight.
Tonight, with hands shackled and wearing...
Oh, damn, my bad, y'all. I just now turned my other phone on. I didn't know it's been like that the whole time. My system reset, so it turned the voice on. So I did read the comment. Somebody said, "What's up with the voices?" earlier. Damn, that's my bad, family. I slipped up. I got it fixed now. That's my fault. I hear it regular on my end. Y'all only hear it on y'all end, so I can't tell until I turn on another sound. I just turned it on. My fault, family.
What appeared to be a bulletproof vest, the man police say plowed into crowds at a Christmas parade in Waukesha, making his first appearance in court. 39-year-old suspect Darrell Brooks audibly sobbing in court when prosecutors announced a child had died and that they intend to charge him with 6 counts of intentional homicide.
I wish to notify the court, sadly, that today we learned of another death of a child.
A newly released criminal complaint saying an officer observed Brooks looking straight ahead, directly at him, and it appeared he had no emotion on his face when he plowed into parade goers and participants, honking as officers yelled for him to stop. Authorities say the SUV appeared to rapidly accelerate and turn into the crowd, injuring 62 people. An officer saying it was clear this was an intentional act to strike and hurt as many people as possible.
The nature of this offense is shocking.
And
this is a case that falls squarely on the need to protect the community. I referenced this earlier. There's really 3 primary reasons for the sentences I will impose here today. One is punishment, one is to protect the community, and the other is to provide justice and closure to the victims. Because under that category of need to protect, the court does get to consider the impact of these crimes on the victims. I went through at length in reviewing all of those victim impact statements. I certainly didn't go through every single one, just highlighting some of them, but doing so with purpose, because it is very clear to this court that Mr. Brooks has caused carnage, mayhem. It has resulted in many people suffering from PTSD, from mental and emotional trauma that will take a lifetime to recover from, and for some, perhaps, if at all. You have taken away from these individuals future memories. They will never have birthdays with the 6 individuals who were killed. There will be no weddings. There will be no graduations. There will be none of the milestones that these families were looking forward to, whether it be for an innocent 8-year-old or an innocent 79-year-old. Frankly, Mr. Brooks, no one is safe from you. This community can only be safe if you are behind bars for the rest of your life. The actions of Darrell Brooks demand punishment. The community is not safe from your violent and criminal conduct unless you are in custody. You left a path of destruction, chaos, death, injury, confusion, and panic as you drove 7 or so blocks through the Christmas parade, never once stopping or seemingly caring about the wake of carnage that you left.
And so, I mean, I know he had mental issues, but he did all this because he was mad at his girlfriend because he was fighting with her. He decided to just go kill people. That's crazy as hell, man. They need to put him up under the jail.
Four of those blocks were turned into a scene that frankly is no different than a war zone. On counts 1 through 6, this court is imposing a life sentence without the possibility or eligibility for extended supervision consecutive to one another. 1 life sentence for Virginia Sorensen.
Yeah, okay, Tampa Bay, Florida. That's right. For Ron O'Neal. He from Tampa Bay, Florida. Appreciate you, Tech Clouds.
One life.
And shout out to FFS for the Cash App. Appreciate you, family. Appreciate the love. Y'all show some love. Drop some slime brothers for FFS. Appreciate you.
Sentence for Leanna Owen. One life sentence for Tamara Durand.
Hold on, do they got these motherfuckers in here applauding? I mean, I understand that the situation, because people be wanting to do that in court all the time, but she actually letting, you know how we've been seeing all the judges like no reaction, you can't do this, you can't do that. They got them niggas in here applauding.
One life sentence for Jane Kulik. One life sentence for Bill Hospel. And one life sentence for Jackson Sparks. I've considered the enhancer and the additional 5 years that I could impose, but I don't need to really order that because I've not made him eligible for extended supervision, and it would only be to increase his time on initial confinement. But make no mistake, Mr. Brooks, you use that vehicle as a battering ram, no different than, frankly, a firearm. On counts 7 through 67, these are 61 counts of first-degree recklessly endangering safety. These charges alone and these convictions without the enhancer carry a maximum.
Oh yeah, she ain't got no slime brothers no more and no FFS. Y'all just gotta type FFS in the chat now.
Of 12 and a half years. Because of the enhancer, a total of 17 and a half years. And under Wisconsin law, the 5 years is added to the initial term of confinement. So what could be 7.5 years is a maximum of 12.5 years. And I'd ask that everyone no longer show any reaction to the sentence so I can get through this. On counts 7 through 67, on each count, I will impose a total sentence of 17.5 years. 12.5 years of initial.
Oh shit, I still got them. I can still drop them for you, FFS. Appreciate you, family.
Confinement, plus 5 years of extended supervision, consecutive to any other sentence that I've imposed here today. That is 762 and a half years of initial confinement and 305 years of extended supervision on top of the life sentences that I've imposed. That is 17 and a half years, sir, for Nicole White. 17 and a half years for Eleanor Anders, 17 and a half years for Sasha Catalan Castillo. 17 and a half years for Maura Gilchrist. 17 and a half years for Justin Gullickson. 17 and a half years for Harry Guilfoy. 17 and a half years for Aiden Lofgren. 17 and a half years for Theo Maza. 17 and a half years for Tyler Pudliner. 17 and a half years for Connor Tank. 17 and a half years for Eric Teagues. 17 and a half years for Adelia Maffioli. 17 and a half years for Kelly Graybow. 17 and a half years for Josh Craner. 17 and a half years for Riley Rogers. 17 and a half years for Caden Rogers. 17 and a half years for Tucker Sparks. 17 and a half years for Isabella Bartlett. 17 and a half years for Yaritzi Becerra Montez. 17 and a half years for Samantha Coelho. 17 and a half years for Madison Hollingsworth. 17 and a half years for Mackenzie Hollingsworth. 17 and a half years for Mitchell Lampine. 17 and a half years for Kathleen Pielmeyer. 17 and a half years for Julia Schleichow. 17 and a half years for Olivia Stover. 17 and a half years for Jennifer Stover. 17 and a half years for Jesselyn Torres. 17 and a half years for Alice Urell. 17 and a half years for Charlotte Urell. 17 and a half years for Vivian Urell. 17 and a half years for Grayson Urell. 17 and a half years for Lola Hospel. 17 and a half years for Tamara Rosentreter. 17 and a half years for Betty Strang. 17 and a half years for Maria Alvarez Dominguez. 17 and a half years for Gregoria Romelia Perez. 17 and a half years for Elliot Hallmark. 17 and a half years for Benjamin Hallmark. 17 and a half years for Patrick Heppy. 17 and a half years for Lori Locken. 17 and a half years for Marisol Lopez Gutierrez. 17 and a half years for Adair Lopez Rubelar. 17 and a half years for Juan Marquez. 17 and a half years for David Marquez. 17 and a half years for William Mitchell. 17 and a half years for Jason Petchloff. 17 and a half years for Margaret Pachulis. 17 and a half years for Yamilet Perales Alvarez. 17 and a half years for Island Perales Alvarez. 17 and a half years for Ashley Perales Alvarez. 17 and a half years for Jose Perales Alvarez. 17 and a half years for Maria Perez. 17 and a half years for Camila Perez Gonzalez. 17 and a half years for Isaac Foglia. 17 and a half years for Deborah Ramirez. 17 and a half years for Charles Green. 17 and a half years for Lily Green. 17 and a half years for Brinley Harris. 17 and a half years for Kelsey Knapp. 17 and a half years for Owen Ricciati. On counts 68 through 73, which are the 6 counts of hit and run resulting in death, these are 25-year felonies each. The court will do the following. On count 68, a 25-year total sentence, 15 years of initial confinement, 10 years of extended supervision. This will be concurrent to count 1. Count 69, the same sentence, 25 years total, 15 years of initial confinement, 10 years of extended supervision, concurrent to count 2. Did I say that the right way, the first one? Okay. Count 68 is concurrent to count 1. Count 69 is concurrent to count 2. Count 70, 25 years total, 15 years of initial confinement, 10 years of extended supervision, concurrent to count 3. Count 71, 25 years total, 15 years of initial confinement, 10 years of extended supervision, concurrent to count 4. Count 72, 25-year total, 15 years of initial confinement, 10 years of extended supervision, concurrent to count 5. And on count 73, a 25-year total sentence, 15 years of initial confinement, 10 years of extended supervision, concurrent to count 6. On count 74 and 75, the 2 felony counts of bail jumping, the court is ordering a 6-year sentence total on each count, 3 years of initial confinement, 3 years of extended supervision, consecutive to all other counts but concurrent with one another. And lastly, but certainly not least, the maximum sentence for the battery to Erica Patterson, 9 months consecutive to any other sentence. To order anything other than what I have done, sir, would be to unduly depreciate the seriousness of these offenses. It is needed, although largely symbolic, given the number of years that I have imposed here today, because frankly, you deserve it. I know it's symbolic, but it needs to hold you accountable in a very real and tangible way. For all of these sentences that I have imposed.
Hold on real quick, man. Yo, long live all them people. I did not know it was that many people. I was watching the videos. I got some clips. They got a little bit of clips here and there, but damn, I had no idea. I was like, I'm just waiting for them to finish with the people. I did not know it went on that long. That is crazy. That is crazy, crazy. What up, Joni 4? I see you. Appreciate you in the building. Appreciate you being in the building. And shout out to JT. Y'all show JT some love. Drop her some umbrellas. Drop some JTs in the chat. Appreciate the Cash App family. Appreciate the support. It definitely helps right now. Appreciate the love. What up, Allie? I see you in the building. Appreciate you. Chloe Albert's Revenge. What up, what up, what up? Shout out to JT. Appreciate you, family.
I will order the following conditions. No contact with the victims as identified in the amended victim key or their families. No contact of any kind with Erica Patterson. You are to pay restitution in the amount of $47,193.29 to EMC Insurance Company. That's on behalf of the Waukesha School District. And $124,000, $220.65 to the Crime Victim Compensation Program. I am ordering DNA surcharges on all counts. On counts 1 through 75, it's $250. On count 76, it's $200. Those are mandatory under the law.
FFS, FOGs, you know you got your ride or dies that's going to ride with you. That's right, family. Appreciate you, family.
I'm also imposing the domestic abuse surcharge on count 76 of $100. I'm also imposing all standard court costs on all counts. Although my primary emphasis is that restitution be paid before costs, surcharges, and fees. I will order that restitution, costs, and fees be paid out of prison money. In other words, that all financial obligations shall be collected pursuant to statutory provision.
I do have more of the Daryl Brooks. Who said that up? Oh, it already passed by. Too late. But yeah, I do got more of the Daryl Brooks, like some of the beginning stuff too. It's just that mess is heck long, but we can tap more into it later, family.
As requested by the state, that's frankly a standard. It's customary. But it will be in the judgment of conviction. And then pursuant to 949.165, I'll find that it is appropriate for this court to order an escrow account under 949.165 for payment of restitution, costs, fees, surcharges, and even for costs associated with prior legal representation or future representation under the statute. Mr. Brooks has been convicted of a number of serious crimes for which this section is appropriate.
And guess what? He represented himself in here too. So we gonna see him. He represented himself also, and he had to cross-examine his girl. Yo, shout out to who is that? Laugh Always. Appreciate you. Shout out to Laugh Always for the Cash App. Y'all drop her some slime umbrellas. Some umbrellas and some laugh emojis or something. Show her some love in the chat. Appreciate you, family.
I will order 360 days credit as to count.
This right here coming in, this is Redden. Remember old boy that jumped over the stand and attacked the judge? Yeah, this is him right here. This is after though. This is not when he attacked the judge. They gonna play it in court, but this is the trial about that after.
You have received,
Good afternoon. Liz Mercer and John Giordani for the state.
good afternoon, Carl Arnold for Mr. Redden, Your Honor.
And I see that he's present and in custody. Okay, this is the time set for sentencing. Are we ready to proceed?
We are, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I just want to make sure that you have received our sentencing memorandum with Dr. Paglini's report dated August 1st, 2024, Karen Springer's affidavit dated December 5th, and Dr. Paglini's current update dated December 5th.
Yes, they were very lengthy, single space.
Yes.
I even read them, Mr. Ron.
I knew you would, Your Honor, so thank you.
Okay, all right. Mr. Redden?
Yes, I.
Okay, I need you to stand, sir.
Okay. Sorry, I feel a little nauseous. Being right here.
Are you okay?
Yeah. I'm feeling better as I like to.
Okay. All right, sir, I have your guilty plea agreement or memorandum here in front of me, which, as you know, was filed in open court on September 5th of 2024. I canvassed you on this guilty plea memorandum. You signed it, and you answered all of my questions. I am adjudging you guilty, but mentally ill, to committing the following crimes. Count 1, attempt murder, victim 60 years of age or older, a Category B felony in violation of NRS 200.010, NRS 200.030, NRS 193.153, and NRS 193.167. Count 2, battery on a protected person resulting in substantial bodily harm, victim over 60 years of age or older, a Category B felony in violation of NRS 200.481, and count 3, intimidating public officer, a Category C felony in violation of NRS 199.300, count 4, battery on an officer resulting in substantial bodily harm, a Category B felony in violation of NRS 200.481, count 5, performance of act or neglect of duty in willful or wanton disregard of safety of persons or property, resulting in substantial bodily harm or death, a Category C felony in violation of NRS 202.595, count 6, battery by prisoner, a Category B felony in violation of NRS 200.481 subsection 2F, and count 7, unlawful act relating to human excrement or bodily fluid, a Category B felony in violation of NRS 212.189. Does the state have anything to present?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
Thank you. Your Honor, before I begin my argument, I would note that he has 16 days credit for time served, and that is because he's been under sentence of imprisonment in the case that he was sentenced on in front of Judge Holthus when the events in this case took place.
16 days time served. What they gonna do? Take that off the balance or something? What you gonna do with 16 days?
Additionally, the state is requesting a total of $61,318.41 in restitution.
Okay, $61,318
and 41 cents in restitution, and it should be paid to CCMSI. That's the company that administers the workers' comp claims for the 3 officers involved in this incident that sustained injuries. As the court's aware, we filed a very lengthy and detailed sentencing memorandum.
I know, I read that too.
So I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time regurgitating everything in there, but there are some things that I want to point out for the court.
What up, KP? And shout out to Tack Clouds, I believe that was. Let me know if that was you or not. Shout out to Tack Clouds for the Cash App. Appreciate you, family. Definitely appreciate the support. It's helping out. Y'all dropping some umbrellas. Put some tats up in the chat. Let me know if that was you, though. Appreciate you if it was, family.
Initially, as indicated in our sentencing memorandum, we are asking for significant prison sentences as to each course of conduct, and we're requesting that as to each course of conduct, the sentences run consecutively to one another.
But did you have some run concurrent? I'm looking at page 3.
So the counts would run concurrently as to the victim, but consecutive between the various victims, essentially.
Right.
And so it's the state's position, Your Honor, that the defendant's very lengthy criminal history, his demonstrated lack of impulse control, and his inability to completely accept responsibility for his conduct, as well as the egregious actions in this case, warrant such a significant sentence. I would note that his criminal history dates back to 2011. In each event, as you read through the reports, they all stem from his poor impulse control issues. And prior to this case, he was convicted in 12 other...
My bad. Did I say JTD? JDT? Oh, my bad. I meant JT. Y'all show some love to JT. I'm not sure what I said, but drop some slime umbrellas for JT. I'm not sure what I said. Appreciate you, family.
Cases. They all involved some level of violence. In 9 of the 12 cases that he committed new offenses while charges were pending, and the longest that he went without reoffending was a period of 2 years and 2 months. The only time that he did not commit new crimes was when he was in custody, Your Honor, and subject to detention. I point these things out because it is obvious from his demonstrated failure at supervision that probation is completely inappropriate for someone like Mr. Redden, and he should be detained for as long as possible, because the only time that the community is safe is when he's in custody. He has demonstrated that he's incapable of being rehabilitated or reformed. When you look at his record, he was actually in mental health court for a total of 5 years. And even after that 5 years, he committed 2 more violent offenses. One with an attempted home invasion, and committed in September of 2021. And then in April of 2023, he committed the assault with deadly weapon that was dealt down to the attempted battery, resulting in substantial bodily harm, for which Judge Holkus sentenced him. And then in January 2024, when he showed up for sentencing in that case, he committed the horrific crimes in this case. Additionally, as the court is aware, you were provided 2 expert reports, one from Dr. Rowley.
Not the stranger danger.
And one from Dr. Paglini. Both doctors found that he was not suffering from any sort of delusional disorder at the time he committed the crimes in this case. Dr. Rowley noted that he has problematic insight and judgment, but noted that those issues relate to personality issues and not his mental illness. And in Dr. Paglini's report at the bottom of page 17, he noted that he has no insight or self-awareness pertaining to his violent history. On page 26, page 34, he noted that Mr. Redden's impaired judgment is based on personality dynamics and not psychosis. So Mr. Redden was perfectly aware of what was going on at the time he committed the crimes in this case.
She said, yeah, I know he got issues, but those is personality issues, not mental issues. He got issues with his personality. He's not a good person.
I think that what you notice pretty glaringly when you look at his criminal history is that Mr. Redden has repeatedly failed to recognize that he is the common denominator in these cases. It is his actions that end him up in situations such as this. It is not him being victimized by other people. It is his conduct. And until he accepts responsibility for reforming his conduct and for his poor impulse control, he's really incapable of being rehabilitated, because if he doesn't believe that he's done anything wrong, what's the incentive to improve? As to the facts of this case, Your Honor, Mr. Redden cannot be permitted to retaliate against the sitting judge and officers of the court when he's displeased with the outcome of a criminal case. Judges need to be free to make the rulings that they believe are appropriate based upon the information presented to them, and due to his extreme conduct in this case.
Yeah, for those who don't know, Chloe Albert's revenge, I don't know, I think love must have found me or something. I am temporarily demonetized. But, you know, we working on that. It may be soon, it may not, but either way, we gonna get it back. Appreciate y'all, family. What up, Late Night Bacon with Mookie? Late night, I see you in the building.
A heavy sentence is warranted, Your Honor. It is my understanding that Judge Holthus does not wish to address the court personally, but she has prepared a statement that Mr. Giordani will read to the court with the court's permission. We would ask that it be read last, as it is essentially a victim impact statement, which would statutorily be provided to the court last.
Thank you. Donald.
Your Honor, I'll let Mr. Redden speak first. He wants to address the court.
Miss Judge Susan H. Johnson, I don't understand why the state is like really going after my character. I mean, I've always had problems since I was a little kid of like psychosis and being in big crowds and always feel like my life is in danger. I didn't know, being a young person, even in middle school, elementary school, knowing that like I fear for my safety.
Appreciate that light, KP. What up, Virginia Thompson? I see you. Appreciate you joining. Yo, he said he been suffering through mental illness since he was a kid. Why they trying to act like they didn't know he had no mental illness? She talking about it's just a personality trait. What the hell?
I'm just being me, going to school, growing up, trying to do the right things. I never get tired of trying to do the right things. The state just said that I have no remorse. Like, I feel like Judge Johnson, she doesn't know me. I understand she's doing her job. I'm not mad at her for that. But I know that I'm not a bad person. And I'm thinking, like, even she knows that, but I'm sitting here like she's doing her job, you know? And I believe that you all know that I'm not a bad person. I'm not an evil person. When I came to court on January 3rd, 2024, I was listening to music. I was in a good mood. I had a stable place to stay. I was trying to get a job. I did not catch any new charges. I'm not a bad person. I don't understand why the state is trying to prove me as a bad person. I understand they have a job to do, but this is just, it's not right to me, you know? I'm not an evil guy, and I just keep going after me. I see spirits, I hear voices. I've been going through this for over a decade now, really since 2012, you know? And I just feel attacked or just not safe since I was a little kid. And me growing up, I didn't know that I had these problems. In 2020.
Man, black people need to get more health checks. They need more health assistance or something. I don't know, but a lot of black people I mean, not even black people, just people, period. I say not even just black people. A lot of people need more mental health checks and need to get more tapped in with their mental health. What up, Che Loves It? I see you. Appreciate you, family. Like, shit, I could be stressed the hell out right now from not being monetized, but instead, I'm going to enjoy y'all. I'm going to have a good time. I ain't going to cry about it. All I can do is fix it. What up, though? Che Loves It.
I came to prison for the first time. I accepted responsibility for my actions. When I did what I did, I committed a crime in 2020 of December. It was 4 years ago. I paid my debt to society. I got out thinking I'm going to get work. I was really sick and ill. I was very malnourished. I don't complain about things. I don't point the blame when people have done me wrong. I still treat everybody right. And the state just stated that I have no remorse, and they feel I don't point the blame when people have done me wrong. I still treat everybody right. And the state just stated that I have no remorse, and they feel like I'm a bad person. I just don't understand why are they coming after me like this. But I understand they have a job to do. When I came to court, I know for a fact, Judge Johnson, I I met Judge Holthus in 2023 of October, and you know what she told me when she revoked my probation? She said, Mr. Redden, I hope you get the help you truly need. I said, thank you so much, and I meant it. I know for a fact I'm not an evil person. I think all of you guys know that, you know? But I'm not going to use stuff like me being on camera for my actions, you know? But I know for a fact that I cared about Judge Mary Kay Holthus's well-being. When I left my house that day at 8 Rose Circle, I left my keys to my apartment, to my family, you know? And I got in the car and I came to court doing the right thing. I gave up everything, like in case I don't get probation. I was like, well, at least I know I tried. And I'm sitting here talking to Judge Holthus, Ms. Johnson, and I swear I started hearing voices in 2012, really in 2014. I'm gonna make a long story short, but I just want to get the facts out because I don't want the state. I understand they have a job to do, but I'm not a bad person. I'm not an evil guy. But I came to court and I'm in a good mood. I'm listening to music on my phone. I'm like, oh, whatever. I remember I about to hug my mom, my foster mother who raised me since I was 11 years old. I hugged her like, just in case if I don't get brushed. You can see it in the videotape yourself. I was in a good mood. I don't want to be known as a person who has mental illness because those people get attacked. I've heard so many people who have mental illness commit suicide and kill themselves and commit things that they really don't mean. I hope I don't have mental illness. I try not to have mental illness, you know. I don't want to be known as a person who has mental illness because they get attacked, you know. So I try my best when I'm going through all these problems. Since I was a little boy, like I told you, I didn't know I had these problems until 2 years ago. I was sitting down in prison and I had this dictionary, and I was like, oh, that's what that word means. That's what that really means. I didn't know that. Oh, stuff has a deeper meaning. You know, like, wow, I never could think like this. I was in prison with nothing to do. I did a 12 to 30 months. I did 15.
We need more help, family. What y'all think? Y'all think he putting on extras, or y'all think he actually holding back some? He say he medicated too, so this is him on the pills. Imagine how he is without the pills. I guess we've seen it. Well, we're going to see it later if you haven't. But it gets crazy, family.
18 months total, and I cleaned up my sentence. I paid my debt to society, and I got out as a good, productive member of society. I didn't know and didn't want to believe that I had mental problems, you know. I started seeing spirits November 2022. I'm not making excuses for my actions, but I'm saying I'm not a bad person. And I know that I did not intend to kill Mary Kay Holthus. I know I cared about her well-being.
Damn, long live Mary Kay. That's crazy. Yeah, it's a lot of that going on tonight. A lot of bodies hitting the floor, but shit, long live them. But shout out to Julie Horn. Miss you, family. What's good? What's good? What's good? Y'all show Julie Horn some love. Glad to see you tapping in as long as you could be here. Appreciate you, family. Much love.
Johnson, you know, I came to court that day and I was talking to her and I told her I never stopped trying to do the right things. I wasn't pointing like, oh, this person did this to me. I deserve a chance of probation. Like, this is not fair. All I see was red, and all I heard her say, oh, this, like she said, and I finally watched the whole video. I was standing here in the courtroom with all of you guys, and I finally saw the entire video, Judge Johnson. I'm like, I can't believe it.
He said that was his first time seeing the video. Chloe said she want me to climb the pole for you. Appreciate you, family.
And I wasn't even mad at Michael Lawson. I was like, I commend him on doing for what he did, and everybody in the prison trying to make me hate him and hate the judge, and I'm still trying to do the right thing. They putting stuff in my ear, and I can't get away from it. But basically, what I'm trying to say is, everything I've been doing, this is just like, this is not right to me. But like I said, I know the state has a job to do. And basically what I'm saying is, I know I cared about Mary Kay Holthus, to make a long story short. But when I was sitting here talking to her, I swear this has been happening to me since 2012. I saw nothing but red. And I heard her say, I think it's time for a taste of something else. I saw nothing but red, and I don't remember doing anything except for jumping on top of her and doing this to her robe. I was like, why are you doing this to me? That's what I wanted to ask her, if I think I know myself, but I'm not really sure. That's the only thing I could come up with. I had 11 months, but I can't really come up with anything. But I know that I cared about Judge Mary Kay Holthus's well-being. You know? That's all. Thank you.
Can you sit during my...
Sure.
And, Your Honor, again, I hear the state in that they're saying it's a lack of impulse control. I agree with that. However, he's adjudicated guilty, not guilty, but by mental illness. And so, bottom line, his ability to control his impulses are vastly different from my ability, from, Mr. Giordani's ability. He does not have the same ability to control his anger, what he's going to do, because, as you saw in Dr. Paglini's report, from day one, from birth, he has had this mental illness based upon his mother's drug use at the time of her pregnancy, the stuff that he saw during him growing up, going through different households, going to a stable home in his foster parent, but he was still unable to comply with just normal behaviors. And that all of that should be taken into account. I think this case starts again in April of 2013. The 18th is when he was arrested after going after his brother-in-law with the baseball bat. Basically, again, this was during a period of time where he wasn't doing his medication. He was off his meds. He's going through his paranoid disorders, whatever those that were outlined by Dr. Paglini, and this whole incident arises from that. He gets into court and he's deemed incompetent. He can't comply with the normal court proceedings that were occurring. He refused transport 3-4 different times. Then he gets into court and he's unable to control himself. Why? Because he wasn't on medication. He goes to competency court. He is eventually given medication to subdue the voices, to subdue his impulses, and he's able to comply. That person that is able to comply is the person that we see today, Your Honor. We made sure that he was on his medication.
Gotta have a medication, man. You can't be bringing them to court without no medication. Let me see. I need to start switching up to this screen more, too, when I talk. So, we can switch it up. Shout out to Survivor Speaks in the building. Y'all go show Survivor Speaks some love. Go sub up. Show her some love. Great content. She covering some, how you say her name? I can't even say her name. I don't want to bash her name, but go sub up right there. She covering some great stuff right now that needs to be covered. Appreciate you joining, family. Appreciate the support.
We asked the prison. I asked him personally. That wasn't done prior to his sentencing in the original case that occurred out of the 2000.
Oh, and hold on. My bad. Let me cut it one more time. Shout out to Steph JK. I ain't shout you out yet. Can't just disrespect Steph JK. Let me put some respect on her name. Shout out to Steph JK. Y'all show us some love. Appreciate you, family. And yeah, we temporarily demonetized. So if you want to help donate, please send that to the Cash App. Much love, much love.
23 incident. And that's the other point I wanted to bring up This case is very different than most of the cases where we have a mentally incompetent person in the court proceedings. Usually, their incompetency keeps them in custody. This is the first that I'm aware of that they're actually released out of custody. He was released, and then he had the inability to get back on the medication that was being given to him free of charge at Clark County Detention Center. He tries to make appointments, as you saw in Ms. Springer's affidavit, to get this medication. For 2 months after his release, which again is an occurrence that I haven't seen before, he's unable to get that medication. Of course he's going to slip back into the same impulsive behaviors that he had before. Of course he's going to slip back and not being able to suppress the thoughts and delusions that he was having. He went back right to what we saw in August 2023. And so again, that should all be taken into consideration. The state is asking for consecutive time. In part and parcel, his mental illness continued from the 2023 incident all the way until today. He was never released after sentencing in January 2024. We're asking
they don't want to see me shine.
I'll get to how much time, but we're asking that it all be run concurrent with his
without you being present.
Yes.
I'm going to raise your voice.
With his.
Okay, my bad. I had to go to the next part. It's coming up right now, fam.
I am not sorry.
Here go your boy Ron O'Neal again. You hear him starting off. He not sorry. I don't know what's wrong with these people, man. I mean, I guess it's mental health. I guess that's all we could say, huh? Get your mental health checked.
For something I didn't do, and I am not sorry for the things I did do.
Mr. O'Neal,
All right.
Listen, stop.
All right.
Listen to me.
I'm not
going to raise your voice again.
I'm not going to raise my voice again. I'm not.
I will have you removed from this courtroom. I can sentence you without you being present.
Yes, ma'am.
You don't conduct
I
yourself.
understand, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Be safe out there, Survivor Speaks. Yo, keep the slime. I mean, FFS is rolling. Shout out to FFS for another Cash App. Appreciate you, family. Much love, much love. If y'all want me to holler out the amount, let me know. But, you know, I just ain't been saying the amount. But I will if you want me to. Shout out to FFS. Show them some love for the Cash App. Appreciate the support, family.
But I will say, I'm sorry for your loss.
19 years I've been at this job. I've seen human beings killed at the hands of others in every way imaginable. You name it, I've seen it. Shootings, stabbings, drownings, suffocatings, blown apart by cars in DUI manslaughter cases. Horrible things. This is the worst case I have ever seen as far as the facts go. When the person from fire department, when he testified, and when he said that he retrieved the body of Ronnie O'Neal from the home, and all he could do was sob. It took every ounce I had not to start sobbing too. Because there is no way any person with any feeling could have witnessed or seen the photos of what occurred that night and not be haunted for the rest of your life. I know I will be. For the rest of my life, I'll be haunted by what I saw as far as the evidence and just the abject cruelty of it all. The abject cruelty. And I was aware, because I reviewed a lot of the discovery ahead of time, as you well know, did a lot of in-camera inspection of a lot of documents. And I was aware there was some evidence, at least, that when you needed to...
You good, Jerome Street? What you got to shut up for? You good, family? Oh, hold on. And another one. Shout out to FFS. Appreciate you, family. Still making it rain. Y'all here. I got to bring my... my bell, my Undertaker, so y'all can hear it. Appreciate you, family. Shout out to FFS. Y'all show them some love.
Recover from your gunshot wound that neither your parents nor your Aisha, Ms. Robinson, would let you come recover at their home. I don't know if it's true or not. I'm not going to get into a dispute. I'm just mentioning there was some evidence referencing that in the records. And all I could think about, because I knew that Miss Barron was not with you romantically at the time. And I knew that she just out of the goodness of her heart let you come stay with her. And it is beyond tragic that that critical decision ended in so much horror for her and for her children. It is unspeakably cruel what happened as a result of that one decision. The way that Ms. Barron died was horrific, and that 911 call, which captured truly all of it. You heard, and everyone who's heard that 911 call heard.
Hold on, is the cameraman over here? You hear him over here? In the background? That was not me. And my bad. Hold on. Let me see. There we go. Put some respect on it. I gotta light the eyes up when y'all drop them donations. Appreciate you, family. Y'all can still do the points actions though. Took away the entertainment. Oh boy, now I have to, Cash App, Appreciate you. Appreciate you though, family. It's only temporary.
Heard a death scream. If anybody ever wants to know what it sounds like before a human being dies, knowing that their death is imminent, that's exactly what it is. That was a death scream.
We're going to see if it's true.
But what happened to little Ronnie? Exactly what it is. That was a death scream.
We're going to see if it's true.
But what happened to little Ronnie and to little Ronnie, but I'm going to focus on Ronnie because she was special. And you could tell Miss Barron had done everything she could to create a beautiful home for her family. I noticed that the Ronnie's bedroom, before you set it on fire, you could tell she tried so hard to make her feel like a princess. Kenyatta did everything she could. And I noticed too in the kitchen on the refrigerator.
That's him after everything she say. He talk about
refrigerator she put up. She tried so hard to make her feel like a princess. Kenyatta did everything she could. And I noticed too in the kitchen on the refrigerator she put up magnets that said faith, love, family, hope. And then you know what else happened at the refrigerator during that night? It got splattered with blood all over it due to what happened. Little Ronnie, she couldn't scream, she couldn't run away, and she witnessed what you did to her mother as far as shooting her mother in the arm with the gunshot. She knew. And the horror that that child suffered. And she already had a life where she was born with challenges regarding her physical and her mental disabilities. But the pain and suffering that she suffered that night at your hands, unspeakable, absolutely unspeakable. And at the moment, that first time you struck her with that hatchet, and little Ronnie testified that all he could see was tears coming out of his sister's face. At that moment, that child knew. She knew she was being betrayed in the cruelest, most tragic and sorrowful way that a child could ever be betrayed. She was being betrayed by her parent, the one person that should be there to protect their children and love them and keep them from harm. And that was the last thing that child felt before she passed on from this earth, was your utter, cruel betrayal to her.
Hey, them last couple ones, they deserved a couple though. I ain't mad at them for those ones. Because I was over here too. That's crazy. That's crazy. How can somebody do something like that to their own child?
And I read somewhere, and I don't know if it's true or not, I have no idea, but I read somewhere that souls pick their lives and that they know exactly how difficult their lives are going to be before they enter into this world. And I don't know if that's true or not, but if it is, Ronnie O'Neal is one of the bravest souls I have ever come across in my 54 years on this planet. One of the bravest ever, ever. Because she suffered so traumatically.
Several shots added to the wall to make it look like I aimed at her head. That's what the evidence is going to show. Remember, I told you the evidence will not show you that my son witnessed.
Your Honor, I apologize for interrupting the state earlier, but the state can talk the ears off a donkey. This continued filibustering has got to stop.
Remember, I told you the evidence will not show you that my son witnessed me beat his mom to death, nor did he witness me shoot his mom. In fact, he didn't witness much at all. And the evidence will show that my son said my dad shot my mom. Is the correct statement. If you want to cite statements, if he even said it. Because I can guarantee you, the evidence is going to show you we are under the most corrupt administration you've ever seen in your life.
Lady Justice is blind. Everybody can get it.
I guarantee you I wouldn't waste your time. I would have already took a plea deal of some kind if I knew I did something like this.
That would be the right front, the right left side. Front.
Okay, all right. Because most people don't even go to trial when they know they killed somebody unjustly.
Slap.
The evidence is going to show you who the killers are.
Denied.
Pleaded not guilty to the charges of premeditated murder, attempted murder, aggravated child abuse or battery, arson, resisting arrest without violence. And while I'm at that, the evidence is going to show that they they tampered with that video because they didn't want you to know the truth. And it might sound far-fetched, but I guarantee you, we're going to see who the liars are before it's all said and done. Mark my words. Because my family lives were taken. When my daughter was done, this is what the evidence will show. When my daughter was born, it was me who gave the command, the final command to keep her alive when she was on life support. When she was born, 2 pounds, 2 ounces.
Yo, this nigga wildin' right here. What? He said it was me that gave the final command that allowed her to be born.
And couldn't breathe on her own. It was me.
Oh, okay, so maybe she was on life support or something, so he made the call to keep. So what? That don't mean you get to take her life like that. What the hell?
Who fought to keep her alive. But all of a sudden, I just want to take her life for no reason. I'm asserting justifiable homicide because I acted in self-defense and moved to protect myself and my children from Kenyatta Barron.
This fool said, "Protect my children." What is he talking about?
I'm going to be showing with evidence several reasonable reasons to doubt the state's allegations against me. The evidence will show that the state cannot prove that I premeditatedly killed anyone because I didn't have any time to reflect or plot and plan as if everything happened suddenly and spontaneous. I responded out of pure instinct and heat of passion. Eliminating any kind of premeditated design. And let me just say, the evidence will show that since the state plans to kill me, if they can say that I killed my family unjustly.
He's trying to add unjustly, like that's gonna make it different. What up, Chada Scott? I see you. Appreciate you joining. Jason Hodges in the building. What up, family? Appreciate you joining. Appreciate y'all. Let's make sure nobody else. Okay, Joni 4, I shouted you out. Okay, let's keep it rolling, family. Appreciate y'all. Yo, this dude is wildin' though.
They plan to premeditatedly kill me, so they cannot say or deny me the right to premeditatedly kill Kenyatta Barron if she killed my children.
Yo, what he just say? He said, so they can't deny me the right to premeditated kill my children. What?
To premeditatedly kill me if they can say that I killed my family unjustly. They plan to premeditatedly kill me, so they cannot say or deny me the right to premeditatedly kill Kenyatta Barron if she killed my children.
All right, try to Scott him. So this is Ronnie O'Neal. I keep calling him Ron O'Neal like I know him or something. This Ronnie O'Neal. And we also got, who is it? Brooks, Daryl Brooks, and we rocking with a little bit of Redden too, mixing it up with some of the wildest trial self-representing lawyers. They representing themselves. It's crazy. It's all over the place. But yeah, we rocking back and forth between them three tonight. Appreciate y'all being here. I'm gonna have to skip down to the bottom of the chat because I'm slow. What up, Just Lee? I see you. Appreciate you, family.
The evidence will show that Kenyatta Barron had several medications and drugs such as morphine in her system. The evidence will show she had a domestic history and was arrested for domestic violence that same year. She also was born premature, just like Trinivia.
I'm going to sustain the objection as to that particular argument regarding Ms. Barron being born prematurely. All right? You may continue on, Mr. O'Neill.
Yeah, that's what I meant earlier, prematurely.
I didn't state the basis of his objection.
I've ruled, Mr. O'Neill, okay?
I understand, but I have to state the basis of my objections, right?
Well, that is correct, and I just assume what the objection is. So go ahead and state it for the record, Mr. Harmon.
Proper argument.
That's sustained.
The evidence will show that she threatened to kill me with a knife just a few weeks before the incident, and she was angry about.
Nah, KP. He killed his baby mama, and he killed one of his daughters, and he stabbed his son. But yeah, we gonna get into it. Yeah, it's getting crazy tonight. I ain't lying to y'all. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like, hit that subscribe, tap in, share with your friends.
About my relationship with my other child's mom. And about the fact that we had to be cordial for our newborn son. And the evidence will show that they have been going back and forth and arguing on Facebook and by telephone that whole afternoon before the incident. The evidence will show that me and my son was at my mom's house while I was putting brakes on my aunt's car. Me and my son spent the whole day at my mom and dad's house working on the car. When we came back home, I never knew she was arguing with my child's mom, my other child's mom, the whole day.
Yo, this dude wildin', putting brakes on his mama's car. Why even bring that up? What up, Becky Einhorn? I see you, family. Appreciate you.
That's what the evidence will show. Evidence will show that my daughter was prematurely born. She was autistic. My son Ronnie was diagnosed at the age of 3 with developmental delay and had the history of SLD. The evidence will also show that he was present but does not remember accurately or consistently what happened for many reasons, making him unreliable when it comes to the actual facts. He also has been diagnosed with PTSD as he should be, because this is a very traumatic thing that he went through. He also...
He should have had some slides or something. He trying to read off these papers. He should have asked him if he could put a slideshow together.
Was diagnosed with major depression disorder, intermittent confusion, and delirium. The evidence is going to show, the evidence and testimony will show that Ronnie Blair, formerly known as Ronnie O'Neal IV, may have been coached on what to say by family members.
Objection to argument.
And or law
Hold on. I will overrule the objection.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. O'Neal, again, jury, this is what both sides believe the evidence is going to show. All right?
Oh, he won that one. Yo, you ain't missed too much, no one. We just getting into it, family. Got some stuff rocking and rolling, but yeah, you haven't missed a couple of them wilding. But we still got some good stuff coming. It's gonna get better, family. Trust it. It's gonna keep on getting better.
Again, you will be the ultimate determiner of what the facts are. You may proceed, Mr. O'Neal.
Thank you, Your Honor. And these are also actual facts that Mr. Harmon left out when he told you about the report of his former psychologist. When he told you that he was adopted by his family members, which didn't work out as well, and he had to be placed with another family, which is now the Blair family. In that same report, it talked about how he may have been coached by family members. The evidence is going to show that my son was adopted by a detective who formerly worked in this case. Whom he now lives with. And I don't have a problem with that because he needs care. But I do have a problem with Mr. Blair being involved in this case, being called as a witness, being the new father of my son, and now he's being called as a witness when he could possibly have been coached by his new father.
Objection.
Who is
Speculation
law
is
enforcement.
proper argument.
All right, and again, Mr. O'Neal, overrule the objection. Again,
Becky said, what, they all mechanics?
this is what Mr. O'Neal is asserting the facts will be. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. The evidence will show and prove that very vital evidence was definitely tampered with, which was a strategic omission to cover up the facts of this case, making much more of the evidence unreliable. As I know for a fact, it was altered as well.
I didn't know he was reading this much when I was recording it. I was just walking back and forth, but
The evidence is going to show that the 911 call of Kenyatta Barron is not compatible with what Khalil Brown saw and heard outside of my home. The evidence is going to show, when it's all said and done, who put those excessive lacerations on Kenyatta Barron's face. I can guarantee you that. in this trial or the next one. I can guarantee you that. Because like I said, I look alone, but I'm backed by a mighty God. And ultimately, it will show that none of the state's witnesses can draw any conclusions, especially because they didn't see anything that refutes my self-defense claim and theory. And nor can the state do so beyond their very reasonable doubts that will be revealed. The very reasonable doubts that will be revealed by me. And that's all I have to say.
Following the pattern that this court has seen so many times of self-medication.
We've had 2 goes at mental health court. That's all I see.
He did. He does have 2 on.
All right, so this the judge from where old boy, what's his name? Redden, where he jumped over the stand and attacked the judge. This right here is her testimony when she is on the stand. So she not the judge right here. She testifying.
With discharge from probation, so he can do probation. He can be success when supervised. It is true that he did get dishonorable discharge. He was revoked on a gross misdemeanor that he was being supervised for just very recently. But he is in a different position now. His foster mother, who is present as a show of support, her name is Karen Springer, has provided him a place to live, which is listed on the PSI. His current address at 8 Rose Circle, Apartment A in North Las Vegas. And she very graciously has allowed him to stay there rent-free until he gets on his feet. Now, he is now part of Union 631 with Teamsters and is hoping to work his way through that program so that he can maintain work. He's also reached out to...
Up until this point, Your Honor, you have suggested a couple times that you're not buying the argument for probation. Is that fair?
Fair.
Did you just now observe Mr. Redden move his body position a bit?
Yes.
Did you notice that back then?
No.
Shannon West for any job prospects that are available.
You seeing that now?
I am.
Is it common for a judge and her marshal to have a bit of an unspoken language that goes on when you're sentencing people?
Yes.
You work closely with your marshal?
Very.
And those cues that you've given in court, do they have a bit of a purpose?
They do.
What is that?
So he can get ready for a remand.
And a remand means putting cuffs on someone.
Taking somebody out of custody and putting him in custody.
I'm going to resume the video.
Through them. Finally, Judge, it's not just his mental health that he's been contending with, but he also has a history of IEP in his education. And at 30 years old, he does not have a high school degree. And so we spoke about that as well, and I think it's high time that we did that. I think the court can trust that he is going to perform well on probation. I think he's worth this risk. If the court wants the 19 to 48 as suggested by the VA, I would have no issue with that, but to suspend it rather than just send him to prison for any length of time. I think it makes more sense given the circumstances and his ability to do probation successfully that he be given this opportunity.
I appreciate that, but I think it's time that he gets a taste of something else because I just can't with that history. In accordance with the laws of the state of Nevada.
Before we let that...
I just can't with that history. In accordance with the laws of the state of Nevada. Something else because I just can't let that history. In accordance with the laws of the state of Nevada.
Before we let that play, Judge, I want you to do your best.
This dude cleared the whole bench, the whole fucking judge's bench. Ain't that shit like, yo, that's crazy high. How he didn't even touch it. He cleared the whole thing.
To walk us through what...
Hold on, let me see. Look at that. Look at that. Hold on, let me move this thing. Look at that. Look at it. Somebody come here. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at damn cat drinking milk out the bowl. Look, ain't none of that bottom touching right there. He was serious.
Before we let that play, Judge, I want you to do your best to walk us through what happens next from your memory.
I remember him coming at me and really didn't think that he would ever make contact. And then I just remember it was like a crash sound. I just remember smashing into the wall. I went down, my glasses went up, I smashed into the wall. He was on me, and then I was being pulled down. I was being hit, and I don't know where and by what. I had closed my eyes. I was trying to protect my face and my head. He had me by the hair, and I was still getting hit in the head. In the meantime, I saw my law clerk who was sitting next to me, who had
Sub up to Sustain Overruled. Shout out to Sustain. Appreciate you, family. She throwing up gang signs. Can y'all see it? Y'all can't see it. Look. Oh. I only saw 2 fingers at first.
had dove almost in front of me as Mr. Redden came at me. And he was on top trying to pry the defendant off me. By this point, I had pulled down. I was kind of laying down like in the back of the bench. I had gone my head from this side to this side. And I just remember saying, help, help, somebody get him off. I mean, in my head, I was completely
Your Honor, I
defenseless.
apologize for interrupting the state earlier, but the state can talk the ears off a donkey. This continued filibustering has got to stop.
Was so determined and so violent and so, it was scary. I didn't think I was going to get out of there.
I'll give you a moment, and I want to play a little more video and back up a little bit. Can you do your best to describe the level of force he used when you were under the bench and you can't see in the video?
The level of force he used the entire time was superhuman. I don't know. From the time he came through the air and smashed into me, he knocked me literally almost through the wall, out of my chair. He knocked me so hard, he knocked me out of my shoes. You know, when you see a car accident and people get hit so hard by a car, their shoes come off. I mean, that's how hard he hit me. And when I was down there, it didn't get less.
We saw there a couple of individuals jump in, one of them being your law clerk.
Yes.
While, if you remember, if you know, while your law clerk was trying to save you, was Mr. Redden stopped?
He was not.
Can you describe that? What was going on physically and how?
Only by feel. Because
do your best.
I was down in the ground and I could just feel someone going at me who was Mr. Redden, because that's where he was, and I could feel someone trying to pull him off and leave her alone, and you know, this like they're fighting over me. I mean, Michael's trying to pull him off and he's not letting go.
Do you know, based on memory, where his hands were?
Touchdown!
Do you remember being struck or hitting your head while you were down behind the bench there?
Yes.
Do you remember what struck you?
I do not.
Do you remember what side of your head it was?
Left at that point.
Did Mr. Redden continue to attack you while Mr. Lasso was pulling you?
He did.
At some point, Mr. Lasso and the others are successful in getting him physically off you. Is that right?
3 of them. 3 or 4 of them it took to get him off me.
Where did you go, or what did you do once they were able to?
As soon as I was clear enough, I literally rolled onto my bench in fetal position.
I would presume that this was extremely traumatic for you, but I have to ask, do you know if you went unconscious during the attack?
I don't know.
What is the next thing you remember after rolling into the fetal position under the bench?
I remember thinking, why is it taking so long? I mean, there was chaos in the courtroom. There was screaming, the alarms were going off, and there was still a struggle. Again, I couldn't see it. Partly my eyes were closed, and partly it was out of my sight. And so I was just laying there and waiting. And then the next thing I remember is Jory coming up. Is she okay? And Michael came up earlier, Michael Lasso, my law clerk, and kind of stood by me, kind of, are you okay? And also, at least the feeling I got was that he was the buffer in case they lost control of the defendant again, because he was still very close.
While the attack was actually going on, what was going through your head?
I'm not going to get out of here. And it's a weird thing, because I know that there's video, and there's a part of me going, I'll be dead. But I have 3 kids. They're going to watch. And that's what they're going to see. That's what was making me so mad. Not what he was doing to me, but what he would do to my family. Okay.
Take your time. So, alarms are going off, lots of physical chaos going on. Did you look around, or eventually were you able to get up and look around the courtroom?
Yeah.
What do you recall seeing there?
Well, behind the bench, there was blood everywhere.
Where did that come from, if you know?
Shane, my marshal.
Did you look at Shane?
I did.
What did you see?
His forehead was literally sliced open, and the skin had been just flapping as he was trying to.
Yo, shout out to Laugh Always Have Fun. My bad, family, if you in your feelings. I don't know, my bad if I did something, but appreciate you, family. Y'all show Laugh Always some love.
Let's protect me, even though he was hurt, but he was getting blood all over the bench. There was clumps of my hair on the floor. The calendar papers were all covered in blood.
Eventually is what I'll call the scene, is it all secured and Mr. Redden taken away?
Yes.
I'm going to resume the video here for a moment. Can we turn that down just a little bit?
Uh-oh.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
My bad. Let me give y'all a minute to adjust y'all volume if needed, because there is a sound warning on here. Because that alarm is going off in the courtroom because he did just attack the judge. But, yeah, a little bit of sound warning. Appreciate y'all, family. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, tap in, share with a friend.
Hey, where's Mary Kane?
She's right here. She's right here.
Stay down. Get on the ground.
Please, God. Please, God. Please, God. We're asking you to come
Oh, shit. Jail. He's a dog.
All right, hold on. I'll mute that for a minute real quick. Shout out to FFS with another Cash App. Y'all show them some love. Appreciate you, family. Go crazy with the FFS in the chat while this dude back there wilding. Getting attacked. Attacking the judge. Let me see. Let me find the FFS comment to pull on the screen. Not that one. Not that one. All right, maybe I'm not going to pull an FFS comment on the screen at the time, but I appreciate you, family. I'll drop some more FFS over here, though. Damn, y'all still hear that in the back? That mess is loud. Let me cut my TV down. They clapping again. Y'all heard them clapping? Hell no.
Yourself finally getting up there?
I did.
I believe previously you said you don't know if you went unconscious or not.
Correct.
Do you remember getting up and trying to walk where there's no exit?
Well, I remember because I've seen the video. I mean,
okay.
I
You have no independent recollection of trying to get out of the courtroom by going over to the other side
Somebody in the back like, World Star.
of the bench?
no.
She hit her head, bro. She hit her.
World Star. Look at him carry her out. Damn, I didn't see that part yet. She was holding her head and shit. I didn't see all that. I didn't see this part, yo. What? What she was looking for? Hold on, I didn't hear it.
What are you looking for?
A shoe.
A shoe. Defendants gone wild. Volume 8.
Give a recorded statement like any witness to a crime.
The back,
Allegation that One.
medical was clearing everybody and taking Shane out and stuff.
Eventually,
I still had it off, huh? My bad, family. I'm tripping.
you give a recorded
scene.
I presume that there was an investigation that ensued?
Yes.
Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department detectives come down and document the scene.
I don't know who documented the scene. By then we were in the back. AMR came and medical was clearing everybody and taking Shane out and stuff.
Eventually, you give a recorded statement like any witness to a crime or a victim of a crime.
I did.
And can you describe for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury the injuries you sustained, if any?
Obviously, I hit my head. I did. My family didn't want me driving, so my daughter drove me home, and then they insisted that I go to the hospital and get a scan to make sure I woke up in the morning because it looked pretty scary. The scan was okay, but obviously I had a headache for a few days. The spots where he pulled out my hair, you know how when you get your hair pulled out, it's sore for a while. That was sore.
Hey, that's a fact right there. Somebody would have ran into Love a couple times. She would have calmed down. She would have calmed down with all that lying stuff. Somebody would have ran and jumped over that bench on Love ass. And you able to walk right. My bad. Excuse me. You able to walk right past them, so it would have been way easier to get a prosecutor. Not saying that you should. I'm just saying it would make a difference if they did. Shout out to KP.
For a few days. My arm, my back, everything was stiff, like, you know, you get jostled around. The next day, the worst part for me the next day was my neck. I don't know what it was. I don't know. All I know is I literally, during the day, was holding my head up, like, with two hands because my neck was so sore and so tired. It just hurt. My tailbone, that hurt for weeks. If you ever bruise your tailbone, that just doesn't go away right away. And I was walking older than my age for a while. I didn't get back on the treadmill for 2 or 3 weeks. And when I say back on the treadmill, that means I walk on it. It's nothing. But I couldn't even walk on the treadmill for a couple of weeks. And then it was several months before I could lay on my left arm. I couldn't sleep on it. That was.
What type of injury did you have on your left arm?
Child, what you got the plug? How you know Vlad doing the interview with her? It's out already? You got the inside scoop?
That's what took, I think, the bulk of the initial hit. Again, I don't know what it was that hit me there, but I still have, it's been how long now, and there's a round, it's not horribly disfiguring, but it's a definite, you can still see a round, raised, bruised, fleshy, something not like the rest of it, marking where he made contact with me that day. But it took me months before I could sleep on my left side again.
In the days following the attack, were you photographed, and did you also, you and your family members, take photos of your injuries as they progressed?
We did.
Were there several times in the following days where you lost large clumps of hair?
Yes.
Shit, my bad. I don't know what part I was muted on.
I have to ask for the record, ma'am, how old are you?
63 now.
And you would have been 62 at the time of the incident?
I was.
All right, thank you very much. I'll pass it over to Judge.
Okay, cross.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Mr. Arnold.
Your Honor, isn't it true that you didn't have any bruises as a result of this attack?
No.
And
I'm sorry, I didn't.
He said, ain't it true you didn't have no bruises as a result of this attack? Shout out to Jerome Street. He said this internet got people messed up on reality. That's a fact.
What was your answer? No.
And isn't it true, Your Honor, that you didn't suffer any bleeding as a result of this attack?
That's true.
And isn't it true that you had no broken bones as a result of this attack?
That's also true.
And in regards to your neck, you didn't have any bruising on your neck. Isn't that true?
True.
Isn't it true that you didn't know how many times, if any, that Mr. Redden hit you with a fist?
True.
Okay. In fact, you don't know for sure if Mr. Redden hit you with
Who said he had Crocs on?
a fist or if you were kneed or anything like that.
True. After the obvious initial.
Correct. And let's make that clear for the record. So when you say after the obvious initial, I'm not talking about the leap, but when you're actually on the floor, you don't know.
Hey, know what? She got a little razzle dazzle. Nothing to a pimp.
If you were being struck by Mr. Redden with his feet, his fists, or anything like that.
Correct. Just that I'm being hit.
Just that you were being hit. And were you covered up? Was your face covered up at the time?
I'm going to assume so. I mean,
prior to him jumping over the bench, you didn't see him with anything in his hand?
No.
And you didn't see during the attack him having anything in his hand?
No.
You know, you're asking it in the negative, the last two questions, Mr. Arnold, and I'm afraid that it'll come across in the transcript as a double negative. Could you re-ask those questions? I just want to make sure you're getting the meaning that you want.
Yes, Your Honor. So isn't it true that you didn't see anything in his hand?
Yes.
And isn't it true that during the attack, when you're on the floor, you didn't see anything in his hand that he was attacking you with?
Also true.
I'm going to shift gears here to talk about
I don't know what I said, but I was high every day for a whole year, and I was at anything. I was at done anything to get out of here. I was at done anything.
PSI. In regards to the PSI, you reviewed it.
I did.
And did you, was there a section that you recall in regards to his mental illness?
Yes.
And you were aware that he had suffered from, he had a previous mental illness history, is that correct?
Correct.
And do you recall, was it paranoia and schizophrenia?
I remember schizophrenia, I don't remember what else.
Did you have any concerns going into the actual sentencing hearing about his competency?
No.
Did you make any inquiries to Mr. Malsi, his defense attorney, in regards to his competency prior to proceeding with sentencing?
I did not. If I recall, the mental health history was fairly long ago about his diagnosis of schizophrenia, and that he had gotten some treatment and that he was not on medication. He had graduated from mental health court, and according to him, he didn't feel like his mental health was causing him any issues. That was kind of the summary of the mental health issues as I understood them from his PSI. And then coupling that, normally it would be, you know, the defense attorney would be the one to bring it to my attention that there's a competency issue if it wasn't obvious.
Right.
And then that coupled with his appearance in court didn't give me any cause for pause.
Did you note, or was it brought to your attention, through your review of the PSI, that on your case, prior to it proceeding to district court, that
Becky says she's trying to get her Social Security early.
he was found to be incompetent.
I don't recall he was found to be incompetent. I recall he was referred to competency court, but I don't recall the findings.
Okay. And do you know, after he was referred to competency court, how long did the case languish prior to you receiving a guilty plea in the case?
I don't know.
And again, you weren't aware or made aware by anyone that he was supposed to be on medication at the time of his sentencing?
I was not.
Just check my notes real quick. Was he saying anything to you that you recall when he was on top of you?
I don't recall.
Do you recall if you heard any statements that he said that he was trying to kill you?
I don't recall.
Do you recall anything that was being said to you by Mr. Redden?
I do not. It was literally chaos.
And again, all the blows that you said that you felt to your head, you don't know.
That would be the right front, the right left, excuse me, the right left side. Front.
Okay, all right.
Who gave those blows, number one? Is that correct?
I mean,
you're assuming that it was Mr.
Michael
Redden.
Jury and Richard literally were pulling him off me, saving my life.
Okay.
But for them, I'm not here. But no, I guess theoretically, my law clerk could have punched me in the head.
Well, you said that you experienced blows to your head. Is that correct? And so, again, there was a huge scuffle and they were trying to get him off of you.
True.
And so you don't know what part of anyone's body that actually landed on your head that could have caused injury.
Eventually, but initially, he was the only one near there.
Right.
That could have, yes.
And do you recall also that when you gave your voluntary statement that you stated that you were only struck in the head once?
I don't recall. If I said that, I do.
He did clearly tackle her. That's a fact.
Okay. And
I don't think I've ever said there was the initial and then there was a second.
Okay. I'm going to approach Ms. Pierce. May I approach to refresh her recollection?
Sure. Oh, I did it again. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
Just where I have it highlighted.
Where you have started me?
Yeah. Just read in between that.
You want me to read it to you?
No. Just read it and refresh your recollection. You know the drill. Then I'll ask questions.
Can I keep that?
Yeah, if you want.
There you go.
Why are you over there talking like buddy or something?
And so, based upon your review of the voluntary statement, do you recall how you were hit?
Same thing. I don't know if it was head or elbow, head, hand. Yes.
Okay.
I don't know.
And you don't
I was
know,
hit, but I don't know with what.
Right. And you don't know how many times you were
I
hit?
don't.
Okay. That's all the questions I have.
Redirect.
I'll be brief, Judge. You gave a voluntary statement to police that was recorded, right?
Yes.
Subsequent to that, you testified at a prior court proceeding.
Yes.
And throughout that, you've been consistent that you don't remember how many times you were hit.
Yes.
In fact, as you sit here today, you can't tell the jury if you were knocked out or not.
No.
Mr. Arnold,
I think you might have a double negative as well. Could you re-ask that question?
do you know if you were knocked out?
No. I mean, no.
May I approach?
Yes.
There was a question or a line of questioning about whether you sustained bruising. Do you remember that line of questioning?
Yes.
Showing you now 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, and 33. Are those documentation of your bruising
Yes.
after the incident? And these will be available to the jury. These are already admitted, Judge, so these will be available to the jury. I'm not going to put them up on the order. When you described this attack,
That would be the right front.
initially.
The right left, excuse me, the right left side. Front.
Okay, all right.
I asked you about the level of force that was used. And I want you to do your best to describe the level of force used and why it is you don't remember how many times you were hit.
I was hit so hard between the defendant's body and behind my bench. It's a marble wall, and so, like I said, I was hit so hard that I literally smashed into it, and then I was at best dazed, and I was pulled down behind me, and he continued going after me so forcefully and so violently that literally 3 or 4 healthy, strong young men couldn't get him off of me. It was so strong. They saved my life. I tell them that all the time. You guys saved my life.
As that was happening, do you recall a hand on your neck?
I remember being held. No, not clearly, no.
Fair enough. You're doing your best to recall the events as you remember. Is that right?
Yes.
Thank you.
I do know I lost hair.
They keep saying on top of you like this was entanglement.
A lot of hair from that side.
Thank you.
Any recross?
Yes, just real quick. And, Your Honor, in regards to the bruising, the pictures that you were just showing.
Hell yeah, Shaw. I bet she was all the way tucked all the way up under the bottom of that desk before he even landed it. Before he even landed.
Those were pictures in regards to bruising on your shoulder, your arms, and your legs and tailbone. Is that correct?
Well, you don't have a picture of my tailbone, but
your back area.
My lower hip, my
Right.
shoulder, and my upper arm. Yeah.
Okay. And there was no bruising to the face, and there was no bruising to your neck. You have to say,
You asked there was no bruising, and she's saying no.
but we have to get it verbally, and
Right.
I'll start it over again.
There was no bruising to my neck.
There was no bruising
that I'm aware of, yeah.
to your neck, and there was no bruising to your face.
No.
That's
Oh.
correct?
That's correct. Sorry.
Okay.
That's all right.
All right.
I just want to make sure the transcript reads
Reads.
the way that you guys want it to read, that's all.
Right. All right. No further questions. Thank you.
Okay, you may step down.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay, next witness.
Parade tragedy in Waukesha, Wisconsin. Late today, the suspect was in court to face charges, and prosecutors revealing a sixth person has died, a child. The suspect, Daryl Brooks, will now face...
So hold on. He said sixth person. Why she name off like 20-something people? Oh, because the other one. Okay, so earlier, that makes sense. The earlier when they was reading the charges, they wasn't all dead people. They were it was attempted murder too. So that some of them was attempted murder, I believe. That's why.
6 counts of intentional homicide. In court today, prosecutors said this was an intentional act to strike and hurt as many people as possible. Images of that red SUV speeding down the parade route, heading toward a marching band, weaving right there around them, and then driving on. And that haunting image from above, slamming directly into marchers. In addition to the 6 who were killed, authorities say 62 people were hurt. And tonight, those new images of the suspect, a short time after the parade crash. Authorities say he drove through the parade and then knocked on the door of this home, saying he was asking for help in getting an Uber. Shortly after, police arriving there and arresting him. Tonight, that suspect before a judge. And ABC's Alex Perez from Waukesha tonight.
Tonight, with hands shackled and wearing what appeared to be a bulletproof vest, the man police say plowed into crowds at a Christmas parade in Waukesha, making his first appearance in court. 39-year-old suspect Daryl Brooks audibly sobbing in court when prosecutors announced a child had died and that they intend to charge him with 6 counts of intentional homicide.
I wish to notify the court, sadly, that today we learned of another death of a child.
A newly released criminal complaint saying an officer observed Brooks looking straight ahead, directly at him, and it appeared he had no emotion on his face when he plowed into parade goers and participants, honking as officers yelled for him to stop. Authorities say the SUV appeared to rapidly accelerate and turn into the crowd, injuring 62 people. An officer saying it was clear this was an intentional act to strike and hurt as many people as possible.
The nature of this offense is shocking.
And
what was the question?
Please remove your mask and face the witness.
Look, he in court representing himself. He made an objection to the prosecution. We're going to get into some more of that later, but we got a little bit right now.
Mr. Redder, do you see the person depicted in exhibit number 75 in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Can you identify him for us by telling us where he's sitting and what he's wearing?
He's sitting at the table right there wearing a black suit and a gray striped tie.
And as the record reflect that the witness has identified Mr. Brooks?
The record will reflect that the witness has identified the defendant as the person depicted in this video and the person who was on his porch on November 21.
Objection.
Go ahead.
I don't consent to being called that name for the record.
Go ahead, your next question, please.
Thank you. What happened?
He said, objection, I don't consent to being called that name. That is not an objection, family. At least if you're going to represent yourself, at least study a little bit of law first. Damn.
In the moments after this video, the 20 seconds that were captured?
So he was on my porch for, I don't know exactly, a minute maybe, and he was telling me the interaction, or he was telling me that he needed to use my phone to let his Uber know where to pick him up, and that he was homeless and cold, and he said he didn't have any weapons or anything on him, and he lifted his shirt real quick, and I was like, no, it's okay, you can use my phone, and I let him come inside and warm up. I just tend to believe people, and I'm from a small town, and we had people that need help all the time because we live right off a highway, so I'm used to, didn't faze me too much. I mean, I was nervous for sure, but I was like, yeah, I can use my phone, and he made it sound like the Uber was going to be here just any second, just needed to know where to pick him up. So I said, yeah, you can come and warm up while you wait for the Uber. And I let him sit on the couch right by the window out front. I said, you can look out here waiting for your Uber. And he's on the phone most of the time after that with his mom. And he's saying the address 553 Elizabeth Street is where it needs to come, and how far away is it, kind of things like that. But
okay,
I guess is that what you're wondering? Or
let me back up.
Yeah.
You made a motion with your hands there regarding what Mr. Brooks said about not being armed. You do that again, just for for anybody who missed it.
Objection. I don't know. Not consent to being called that name.
Go ahead.
Again, for the record.
Yeah, so I don't remember exactly.
Again, his only objection is to the name. He don't care about nothing else. What up, Rainy Rain? I see you in the building. Appreciate you coming around. It's been a while. Appreciate you tapping in.
What the motion was, I remember him saying he didn't have any weapons and he's not dangerous. And I think he lifted his shirt really quickly. But then I was like, don't worry, I'm not worried about that. And so I didn't, it's not like I patted him down or anything like that. But.
Okay. Did you let him in the front door that would be right next to your video doorbell?
I actually...
I can rephrase.
Go ahead, rephrase.
What door did you let Mr. Brooks into your home?
I let him in the back door.
I don't consent to being called that name.
Overruled. Go ahead, you may answer.
Yeah, the back door.
Okay. So he went around the side of the house to get to the back door?
That's right.
Okay. What happened when he got to the back door?
I don't remember exactly. I remember letting him in. Well, I remember, so I just got back hunting, so I asked him to go through the back door so I could make sure I didn't have any weapons laying around. And so after that was good, then I let him in the back door. Well, just to give me a second to make sure nothing was tempting or anything. But I let him in the back door, and I think I gave him a coat right away, and then gave him my phone, and then told him where to sit down. And when I told him to sit in the spot, he didn't move or anything. He stayed right there and listened to me.
What else did you give him?
I gave him a sandwich because he said he was homeless. And I said, I can get you some slippers to put on your feet to warm your feet up. I never did end up giving him slippers. But yeah, so I gave him a jacket to wear while he was at my house. I gave him a spot to sit and wait for the Uber and a sandwich.
Man, that's a nice man right there. He just let a stranger in his house, let him use his phone, gave him a jacket, gave him a sandwich to put in his pocket, because you know he had that in his pocket when he got arrested. We gonna show that later. But yeah, that's a nice man, right? Shit, if I was on the run from the police, that's the house you want to run to. Shit, he was hella nice.
You testified earlier that he was on the phone with his mom. How do you know that?
Objection. Respectfully to you.
Overruled.
A few reasons. I heard him say mama a lot, and his mother called me, and I didn't answer, but his mom called and left a voicemail after the fact, confirming it.
Whose phone was he using while he was inside your house?
Objection. Relevancy.
Overruled.
He was using my personal cell phone.
How would you describe his demeanor as he...
Hold on, he had a new objection that time. He said, objection, relevancy. Relevancy. Heck no, appreciate y'all being here. He said objection, relevant. She said denied.
He was inside your house.
Objection, leading.
Overruled. You may answer.
I would say flustered, but also there were many times he was thanking me, and so he was grateful, and he even said, "Thank you so much for showing me love, man," and he was calling me bro, and so it wasn't, I guess that
Lady
didn't
Justice is blind.
make me feel like I was in any danger at the moment.
Did Mr. Brooks leave your home at some point?
Objection. I don't consent to being called that name.
Overruled. You may answer.
I'm sorry, I lost train of thought. Can you say it again?
Did he leave your home at some point?
Yeah, he left when I asked him to. So he was in my house for 8 or 9 minutes, and then I was standing on the front door looking outside because I was getting a little...
Survivor say this guy was the best on cross. I'll be in the chat in a minute. Be safe driving, family. Appreciate you. You too, Steph JK. Y'all be safe out there.
Nervous because I thought the Uber would be there in a minute or two, not 10. And so after 8 or 9 minutes, I'm looking around outside and I see a police car drive by. And then I see another one coming down the street. And so I tell him, I say, hey, we don't get a lot of police traffic on this street, and I'm getting nervous, and this is just too weird of a situation. You're fine to wait for your Uber, but you need to do it outside of my house. And he was a little bit like, oh, no, it's okay, don't worry, man, don't worry. And I said, no, you need to leave. And then he listened and got up, and I've got video footage of that, of me escorting him outside of my house. He's still on the phone, and he's still got my jacket on, but I just said, you need to leave. Do you want me to say what I mean? Do you want me to keep going, or?
I just want you to answer my questions. So,
Okay, yeah.
Let's pause there, though.
Sure.
And show for the witness only, please, exhibit number 77. Is up now for everybody. It's a 21-second clip. We're going to play it once with audio, please.
Before you do that, can we just confirm it's in the jury box? Not yet, okay. Let me know.
I guess while we're waiting, we can make use of this time. Mr. Ryder, could you read the time and date stamp for us on the bottom right-hand corner?
Objection, relevancy.
Overruled. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's November 21st, 2021, 17:10, so 5:10 p.m.
Okay, we've got it up for the jurors. Let's play this once with audio.
Steph JK Jerome Street said drop the link to the music. Hey, and what's up with that? How that's going for you? Let me know. You know what I'm talking about, that other thing we was talking about. Let me know, Steph JK. Oh, she I forgot she's not even in here right now. My bad.
Do you see yourself in that video?
Yes.
What are you wearing in the video?
A gray shirt.
Overruled.
A gray shirt.
Did you hear the wind in that video?
Yes.
What do you recall being said in that portion of the video?
Objection, bleeding.
Overruled.
I'm walking Mr. Brooks outside of my house, and my neighbor, Greg, says, "Are you guys looking for that guy?" And I had no idea of
No one said he burped him and read him a story too.
anything at this point. And so I say, "I don't know. This might be him." You can hear that in the audio. I don't know if anybody was able to distinguish that, but that's what was said. And then Mr. Brooks says, "No, no, no." And then I say, "Can I have my phone, please?" And then after that, I say, "Can I have my jacket, please?"
Did he provide those items to you?
He did.
Okay. Can we put up for the jury, please, Exhibit 78?
My ID! My ID!
Trying to act like he left his ID in the house?
Mr. Ryder, what happened during that video clip?
Objection, leading.
Overruled.
Mr. Brooks, or I should say the suspect, came to my door, asked to come back inside to look for his ID. I said, "No, I'll look for it. You stay out there." And I was looking underneath the couch and everywhere that he sat for his ID when I hear the police officers saying, "Put your hands up." And
did you ever find that person's ID?
No.
Did that person leave anything else inside of your house?
No.
If you answer yes to at least one of the aggravating factors listed in Section A or Section B, please proceed to Section C. C, sufficiency of the aggravating.
All right, we still got some more of him coming up. We got the video, we got the body cam, and we got some footage of him going through the crowd too, coming up shortly. But real quick, let's get into Ronnie O'Neal. This is his reaction to the judge telling him or talking about the rules or whatnot of the case, or the trial, I should say.
Aggravating factors. 1, reviewing the aggravating factors that we unanimously found to be established beyond a reasonable doubt in Section A, as they apply to Kenyatta Barron. We, the jury, unanimously find the aggravating factors are sufficient to warrant a possible sentence of death. Yes. 2, reviewing the aggravating factors that we unanimously found to be established beyond a reasonable doubt in Section B, as they apply to Ronnie O'Neal. We, the jury, unanimously find the aggravating factors are sufficient to warrant a possible sentence of death. Yes. D, mitigating circumstances. 1 or more individual jurors find that 1 or more mitigating circumstances was established by the greater weight of the evidence. Yes. Eligibility for the death penalty for count 1, Kenyatta Barron. We, the jury, unanimously find that the aggravating factors that were proven beyond a reasonable doubt in Section A outweigh the mitigating circumstances established, Section D above, as to count 1. No. F, eligibility for the death penalty for count 2, Ronnie O'Neal. We, the jury, unanimously find that the aggravating factors that were proven beyond a reasonable doubt in Section B outweigh the mitigating circumstances established, Section D above, as to count 2. No. If your vote to impose death is less than unanimous, the trial court shall impose a sentence of life without the possibility of parole. Dated this 25th day of June, 2021, signed by the foreperson. All right, I'm now going to poll the jury. And again, I'm going to do it by initials and juror number, okay? Members of the jury, we are going to ask each of you individually about the verdict that you have just heard. The question pertains to whether the verdict, as read by myself, was correctly stated. Beginning with juror number 1, initials LR. Do you, juror number 1, initials LR, agree that at least one member
Who got the shaking? Hold on, I want some shaking.
of the jury voted for a sentence of life imprisonment without the possibility of parole? Yes. Juror number 4, initials MD. Do you agree that at least one member of the jury voted for a sentence of life imprisonment without the possibility of parole?
Yes, Your Honor.
Juror number 7, initials RC. Do you agree that at least one member of the jury voted for a sentence of life imprisonment without the possibility of parole?
Yes, Your Honor.
Juror 9, initials HW. Do you agree that at least one member of the jury voted for a sentence of life imprisonment without the possibility of parole?
Yes, Your Honor.
Juror 12, initials ME. Do you agree that at least one member of the jury voted for a sentence of life imprisonment without the possibility of parole?
Yes.
Juror number 13, initials JP. Do you agree that at least one member of the jury voted for a sentence of life imprisonment without the possibility of parole?
Yes, ma'am.
Juror 16, initials NS. I'm going to take that phone if it goes off again. Do you agree that at least one member of
They got phones going off. You remember that old ring?
the jury voted for a sentence of life imprisonment without the possibility of parole?
Yes,
Juror 18, initials ES. Do you agree that at least one member of the jury voted for a sentence of life imprisonment without the possibility of parole?
Yes, Your Honor.
Juror number 20, initials AM. Do you agree that at least one member of the jury voted for a sentence of life imprisonment without the possibility of parole?
Yes, ma'am.
Juror 22, initials DV. Do you agree that at least one member of the jury voted for a sentence of life imprisonment without the possibility of parole?
Yes, ma'am.
Juror number 26, initials KW. Do you agree that at least one member of the jury voted for a sentence of life imprisonment without the possibility of parole?
Yes.
Enjoyed by jurors. No juror can ever be required to talk about the discussions that occurred in the jury room except by court order. For many centuries, our society has relied upon juries for consideration of difficult cases. We have recognized for hundreds of years that a jury's deliberations, discussions, and votes should remain their private affair as long as they wish it. Therefore, the law gives you a unique privilege not to speak about the jury's work. Although you are at liberty to speak with anyone about your deliberations, you are also at liberty to refuse to speak to anyone. A request to discuss either your verdict or your deliberations may come from those who are simply curious, from the media, from the attorneys, or elsewhere. It will be up to you to decide whether to preserve your privacy as a juror. Now, we've had this discussion about your identities, and I have ordered the media not in any way to disclose your identities, not your visual identity, not your names, and they will not do so. I've also put under seal your personal identifying information as far as names, addresses. Now, I don't want to mislead you that this will forever be locked down. If at some point in the future the media wants to get the information, they do have the right to come into court and ask for it pursuant to the First Amendment. So I just want you to know that. But that's not going to happen anytime soon. So I just want you all to be aware. On a more personal note, I really don't have the words to thank you all for your service. I really don't have the words. There are no tougher cases in our entire judicial system than the one you all agreed to serve on. Our entire community is indebted to you for your willingness to serve and for making these tough decisions in these terrible cases. And I just want to commend all of you. And we live in really such a polarizing time. And whenever I look and I see a jury such as yourselves, individuals from all different types of backgrounds, different genders, different socioeconomic levels, different races, it really, really reminds me of the faith that we should all have in the people of our community and the people of this country.
Y'all go sub up to Queen Slime. Appreciate you, Chad Diggy.
Hi guys, how is everybody?
Because you all come together from your various different backgrounds and experiences, and you work together to reach really, really difficult decisions on very difficult cases. So you all should go home tonight and feel extremely proud of yourself as citizens, because you've done an incredible service for all of us, and we are all so very grateful. So, your jury service is now concluded. So you'll never again hear me say that you can't talk to anyone about the case. As I told you, you're welcome to talk to anybody that you wish to. You also can tell people, you know what, maybe some other time, but not right now. All right? Very
Survivor Speaks in the building.
Safe travels. I wish each of you the very best. Thank you.
All right.
Lady L, what's good, family? Lady L says, hey, everyone. Appreciate you joining. You killed that song. Had to listen to it 5 times.
Okay, very good.
Shout out
Everyone
to
have
no
a seat.
one. Y'all
So,
go sub
Mr.
up.
O'Neill, even though the sentence is not in dispute, I am going to set your sentencing off, your official sentencing date, because I anticipate there will be post-trial motions, and I will hear those at the same time. I do want to let the victim's family know that I am also going to set off the sentencing date because I know the rules constrain you all with regard to the victim impact statement and what you can really or were able to say to the jury.
Look at that look. Look how he looking at him. Y'all go sub up to Tack Clouds on Instagram. Let me see. That's a real name right there. Y'all might want to put y'all nicknames inside the thing. Who was that? Let me know who that was so I can show you some love. Appreciate you, family. Somebody with the whoever just is that Allie? Is that Allie? I think that might be Allie. If that's Allie, let me know if that's you. Appreciate you, family. Y'all show some love, drop some slime brellas. Let me wait until the chat tell me who that was, because I don't want to say the wrong name and I don't want to say their real name. But I appreciate you, family.
I do want to give you the opportunity to really open your hearts and say whatever it is that you need to say. So I will give you that opportunity. How much time do you all need as far as getting your post-trial motions ready to go?
Steph JK. Jerome Street said, where the tracks at? You got the tracks, the new track?
What kind of time frame was your?
And I was asking,
Like 30 days or so.
where's that, I mean, you know, how you doing on that thing? Let me know how that thing working out for you that we was working on. Appreciate you, family.
Yep.
Okay.
Survivor
July
Speak says,
26th.
dang, every time I talk.
Mr. O'Neill, please, not now, please don't start. July 26th.
Okay.
Does that work for you all in the afternoon? I understand, but I can hear you, and I'm trying to talk to your counsel right now.
Yes, we can do it in the afternoon.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so we're going to set off sentencing. Does that work for the victim's family? July 26th at 1:30?
TikTok is down. Look, you see the wave his hand? Whoa, this dude wildin'. Yo, and another cash app from JT. Y'all show JT some love. Drop some slime umbrellas for JT in the chat. Appreciate you. I mean, some JTs and some umbrellas or something. I don't know. Whatever you want to drop. Just say thank you if you want to. Appreciate the support, family. Definitely.
So, July 23rd.
It's okay for the state, Your Honor.
July 23rd? All right. Then we're going to set sentencing for July the 23rd at 10 a.m. in the morning, and the sentencing will actually be in my regular courtroom, courtroom 10, over in the other courthouse. It won't be here.
Yes, Your Honor. What was the time again, Judge?
10 a.m. All right. Anything further from the state or from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
There you go. I like.
Okay. Very good.
I like them hundreds right there. I like them hundreds. Shout out to Jerome Street. JT with the hundreds.
Thank you.
All rise. Court adjourned.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I'll do, yeah. But doesn't the order, I already did the order. It's gotta be that? Yeah. Okay, all right, that's fine. For now, just go ahead and do it, and then because the order may not get done today.
He's smiling and shit, bobbing his head. He ain't even tripping.
Yeah, okay.
That's mental. That's mental issues too. I believe you gotta have some mental issues to do what he just did. And we ain't even got to the worst part yet. It's coming up right soon, right now. Dang, I didn't know that thing was on there right there. I meant to edit that, cut that part off earlier.
Turned off. All right, very good. Everyone have a seat. Juror number 7, our foreperson. It's my understanding that the jury has reached a verdict as to penalty phase, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, please hand the verdict form to the bailiff. I'd ask the clerk to please publish the verdict.
Thanks, Judge.
Yo, who is that sent the cash app? First name ALE, first 3 letters. Let me know who you are so I can show you some love. What up, Vernicia? I see you, family. Appreciate you joining. Shout out to Vernicia. Y'all show her some love.
State of Florida versus Ronnie O'Neill III, case number 2018 CF
004019, verdict form, Trial Division 1. We, the jury, find as follows as the count one of the charge. The defendant is guilty of first-degree murder as charged. The defendant did actually possess and discharge a firearm causing death. We, the jury, find as follows as the count two of the charge. The defendant is guilty of first-degree murder, premeditated murder, and felony murder. The defendant carried, displayed, used, threatened to use, or attempted to use a weapon. We, the jury, find as follows the count three of the charge. The defendant is guilty of attempted first-degree murder as charged. The defendant carried, displayed, used, threatened to use, or attempted to use a weapon. We, the jury, find as follows the count four of the charge. The defendant is guilty of arson of a dwelling as charged. We, the jury, find as follows the count five of the charge. The defendant is guilty of aggravated child abuse as charged. We, the jury, find as follows the count six of the charge. The defendant is guilty of aggravated child abuse as charged. We, the jury, find as follows the count seven of the charge. The defendant is guilty of resisting an officer without violence as charged. So say we all.
Okay, my fault. Let me put some respect on your name. That was Just Lee. Also, shout out to Just Lee. Y'all drop Just Lee some love, some whatever we doing for the love, the umbrellas and all the other stuff. Show her some love. Appreciate you for the CashApp family. Appreciate the support. Definitely helping right now.
Dated this 21st day of June 2021.
All right, very good. Thank you, members of the jury. So now that you have found the defendant guilty of first-degree murder, that means we will be going into a penalty phase. However, I'm going to give you guys the day off tomorrow. All right? There's some things we need to do as far as to get ready for that phase of the trial, which will begin Wednesday at 9 a.m. I anticipate that we will be concluded by the end of this week, so you don't need to worry about that, but I'm going to give you guys the day off tomorrow. All right? So you can go tend to your personal affairs, do what you need to do, and then we'll see you back here Wednesday at 9 a.m. Since you are still serving as a juror in this case, however, the rules still apply. You can't talk to anyone about this case. You can't do any research about this case. You can't watch, listen to, read any news accounts related to this case. And that will be the rule until I discharge you completely as a juror. All right? So with that, I think the pizza did arrive, so I don't know if you want to grab a slice on your way out the door, but there is pizza back there, and we will see you all on Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. All right? Thank you.
All right. I was on mute, wasn't I? My bad. I was saying shout out to JT, and let me put some respect on Just Lee name. Appreciate you. Y'all show Just Lee and JT some love. Appreciate the support, family. And yeah, he said pizza, Brooklyn. He said pizza. That's why the eyes lit up. I got to get better with that. That's something new. I need to set that up automatic or something. But yeah, appreciate the love, family, for real. It definitely helps. Every like, all that, subscribes, every dollar, every penny, it all helps. So I definitely appreciate y'all, family. Much love.
Okay, everyone, have a seat. So, Mr. O'Neill, now that you have been found guilty of first-degree murder, we now go into penalty phase. And as you are aware, it gets no more serious for any defendant in any criminal courtroom in this country than what you are facing now. I respect the fact that you chose to represent yourself, and I have to tell you, I think in another lifetime, you would have been an excellent lawyer. I really think that. You speak with great passion. I understood exactly the points you were making. I knew what you were attempting to get across in your opening statement, your cross-examination of the state witnesses, the direct examination of your witnesses, and your closing argument. Ultimately, your arguments were not persuasive to the jury, but nonetheless, I was able to follow exactly what you were trying to accomplish. However, as we move into penalty phase, I'm really going to strongly encourage you to consider allowing counsel to now step in and represent you. This is a much more specialized and rare area of the law that very few practitioners really practice in, as far as truly understanding the aggravating factors the state has to establish. And now you would have a burden of proof with regards to the mitigators, whether they're statutory or non-statutory. You've got to come up with proof by greater weight of the evidence that the mitigators actually apply. And you would have to come up with not just applicable statutory mitigators, but any applicable non-statutory mitigators. And I'm quite confident that your standby counsel would have a much better grasp on what those potential non-statutory mitigators would be. So I want you just to think about it overnight. I don't want you to make a decision right now. I want you to give it some serious consideration. All right? And we're going to reconvene at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, and we'll discuss it further, and you can tell me then. But I really want to strongly advise you to go ahead and let counsel represent you in the penalty phase, because the consequences are so serious.
We're starting first here at 6 with this boy's act of bravery after surviving the unthinkable.
I just saw my dad holding a shotgun and my mom screaming at him.
That little boy testifying at his father's murder trial. He's the son of Ronnie O'Neill, his father on trial for the murder of the boy's mother and sister, and also for...
They do got the boy's testimony too, if y'all want to go watch that, but I'm not going to play that here. But they got a little clip of it inside this clip, but I'm not going to play the full interview. So if y'all do want to hear that, it is available.
Trying to kill Ronnie, allegedly. Now, because he's representing himself, this creates the unusual scenario of the father cross-examining, questioning his own son. The man is accused of trying to kill him, and now he is basically questioning his son's testimony. Fox 13's Aaron Mesmer is live at the courthouse in Hillsborough County. Aaron, even separated by video screen because the boy is in a remote location, this had to take incredible courage by this now 11-year-old boy.
Yeah, Chris, he was incredibly brave. He showed unbelievable composure in that remote location as he gave his testimony this morning.
I just
each other and spoken to each other since that the attack on March 2018.
State, you ready to proceed?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I just saw my dad holding a shotgun and my mom screaming at him.
And your father had a shotgun. What happened next? What did he do?
My mom ran in my sister's room. My mom ran in my sister's room into the closet. And then my dad said, come in here and come kill the B-word.
Did you hear any shots from the shotgun before that?
Yes.
How many times?
One.
Was there a time when your mother was able to get out of the closet?
She was like stumbling outside, and then I just saw my dad chase her.
What do you remember happening next?
My dad told me to walk around and say like some words.
And do you remember what words your father told you to say?
Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar?
Yes.
Did he do something to your sister?
Yes, he hit her with an axe. And then he went in the garage, I followed him. He put me on the ground, and then he had his foot on top. I was laying on my stomach, he had his foot on top of me, and he was holding me down, and he was lighting a match.
Mr. O'Neill, any questions?
How you doing, Ronnie?
Good.
It's good to see you, man.
Good to see you too.
Did you see me shoot your mom?
No.
Did I hurt you that night of this incident?
Yes.
I did. And how did I hurt you?
You stabbed me.
It's the same reactions he's always had in life. It's the same reaction.
Damn, stabbed that little boy. And he lit him on fire too. Man, what's wrong with these people, yo?
Reaction that caused him to commit these murders. You guys just got to see it for yourself.
Kenyatta's family took the stand, able to speak from their hearts and tell O'Neal what they've waited 3 years to tell him.
So when you sit in that cell for the rest of your life, remember, you don't leave out until you're in a box. So when you sit in that cell every day, 24 hours a day, that scream, I want you to hear it. When she comes to you in your dreams, I want you to receive it. You know why? Because that was a child of God.
The judge also able to share her thoughts on the case, getting especially emotional as she spoke about Ronnie, O'Neal's 9-year-old daughter, and what he did to her.
At the moment, that first time you struck her with that hatchet, and little Ronnie testified that all he could see was tears coming out of his sister's face. At that moment, that child knew. She knew she was being betrayed in the cruelest, most tragic and sorrowful way that a child could ever be betrayed. She was being betrayed by her parent, the one person that should be there to protect their children and love them and keep them from harm.
O'Neal will spend the rest of his life in a jail cell without the chance of parole, a judgment Barron's family feels is a win, even if he wasn't sentenced to death. Afterwards, they shared videos of Kenyatta, who they call Kiki, and Ronnie for the first time.
Love yourself. I mean, love yourself.
They say Kiki was a loving mother who went above and beyond for her children.
If somebody ever tell you you cannot do something, stay away from that person, because there's so many negative people out here in this world who try to make you be something you're not, to make you.
What happened with no one? What's going on, family? Let me know. You still here?
Be what they want you to be.
Her mother, Carrie, heartbroken and riddled with sadness, missing her daughter and granddaughter every day.
My family is my life. I breathe from my family. So now you got me gasping for air because you took my children from me.
It is so heartbreaking, it really is. We want.
Oh, okay. Email that to her.
That's fucked up though. He definitely he definitely deserve whatever coming to him, because he's doing way too much with whatever he was going through that night. And then he not remorseful at all. Like, he not showing no type of remorse for it. It's crazy.
So that's your judicial determination that you don't have to answer that, Your Honor, being a public servant?
Email that to her and print it off.
So that's your judicial determination that you don't have to answer that, Your Honor, being a public servant?
I was talking to my clerk. I didn't hear what you asked. The jury's coming in.
You heard what I asked.
I actually did not.
Come on, Your Honor. Come on now. We got to cut that out. You know you have to prove subject matter jurisdiction. You know that. You have to honor your oath of office. You know that.
Thank you, everyone. Please be seated. The defense may call its next witness, please.
Be it 1 second. I'm trying to make sure I got the paperwork since I'm being rushed to judgment.
About the truth, so help you God? Yes.
Thank you. Please be seated.
Look, I just wanted to show y'all, look. He's supposed to be started the whole time he digging all through papers. And really, I skipped past about 30 minutes or so. He was really there longer than that.
Just gonna start the questioning. I'm not seeming to find paperwork that I just had on the table for some reason, odd reason. The evening of November 21st, 2021. Do you recall what you were doing that evening?
I was hanging out with my friend Corey at Frame Park.
Okay, so this is the ex-girlfriend. He cross-examining himself. So just imagine how crazy that's gonna be. Like the person that did all this to you, and then he come in court and he the one cross-examining you. Like what the hell? What type of shit is that?
Everybody
Lady Justice is blind. Everybody can get it.
Spoken to you, Mr. Daryl Brooks. You came out there at Frame Park and met me after Miss Corey separated from me with her friend. Me and you got into an argument.
Whoa. Pursuant to the question?
I am answering your question.
I was referring to the judge.
Look, he stopped her in the middle of her thing. He said, whoa, but he talking to the judge though.
I
think that kind of got a little ahead of, I was referring to the judge. I think that kind of got a little ahead of.
Oh. Mr. Brooks, I'll let you interrupt the answer and you can ask a follow-up. I apologize. I was instructing the clerk to turn up the volume. So go ahead, ask your question.
Same question?
Sure.
What were you doing the evening of November 21st, 2021 before linking up with the alleged defendant?
Hanging with my roommate at the time at Frame Park.
And what were you and your roommate doing?
We covered this ground during.
Oh, and just so you keeping up, when he refers to the alleged defendant, he talking about himself.
Her testimony previously.
Hanging with my
Of November 21st, 2021 before linking up with the alleged defendant.
Hanging with my roommate at the time at Frame Park.
And what were you and your roommate doing?
We covered this ground during her testimony previously.
Objection. And grounds for, I object to that and grounds for the objection on behalf of the state.
Mr. Brooks, we did cover many of these topics previously, so if there's new topics, please go to those. I'll give you a little bit of leeway to lay some foundation, but go ahead, ask your question.
That's
the
with the
objection is from the state is overruled. Do you remember the question?
You asked me what was I doing at the park with Corey? Is that your question?
Yes.
We were drinking. I was drinking Mike's Hard beverage.
Do you recall around what time of the evening it was when you and your roommate arrived at the park?
I do not remember. We left where we were staying a little around afternoon. A little bit around afternoon.
Do you recall having any phone interactions during that time when you and your roommate were at the park?
Phone interactions, yes.
Do you recall who they were with?
You.
What do you mean by you?
Daryl Brooks.
Do you recall who they were with?
You.
What do you mean by you?
Daryl Brooks.
He said, "What you mean by you?" Hey, who y'all think was the better lawyer, him or O'Neal? Who you think represented themselves better? But this ain't the worst of him. Don't get it wrong. This ain't even that bad on him. He did a lot more.
Is that usually the name you refer to the alleged defendant by?
Nope.
Would it be fair to say that during those phone interactions, there was a talk of you guys meeting up? Would that be fair to say?
Yes.
Do you recall, to the best of your recollection, what time that would have been at?
No, I don't remember. It was throughout the day.
I'm sorry, are you making references to the phone conversations being throughout the day?
Yes.
And so at some point, would it be fair to say that you did meet up with the alleged defendant?
Yes.
Do you recall what time that was?
I just told you no.
Do you recall if you were still at the park during that time or had you moved locations?
Still at the park.
And was your roommate still present with you at that time?
No, she left.
I'm assuming, or let me back that up. Would it be fair to say that at some point during the meetup with the alleged defendant, things got a little chaotic? That'd be fair to say?
Yes.
And do you recall if at that point you were still at the park?
When we met up?
Yes.
Well, we were at the park for a second, then we drove around.
Where did you drive to?
Around, then me and you, Mr. Brooks, were arguing in the car. We went up this is a street, it's like a hill. Went up there, and then me and you got into an altercation. I got out of the car, walked back towards Frame Park.
Well, wait, again.
Hold on, she's answering your question. You asked her where you drove around. Go ahead, finish.
Yes, ma'am. And then I was walking down the street when I left your car. And that's when you followed me, and I walked back towards Frame Park.
Hey, facts, Chloe, you hear him? Talk about the alleged defendant. Talking about you, Brooks?
Your fault.
Made reference to walk back to Frame Park.
It's alleged that you did the crime, but you definitely the defendant.
I don't know the exact street name. It was I walked back down the hill. I don't know the exact street name.
Did you at any time, did you at any time during your travels back to Frame Park, did you at any time notice that there was something going on in the area?
No. When I got to Frame, I was too worried about walking back to Frame Park. When I got to Frame Park after I left it, that's when I realized there was something going on.
Yeah, I don't know. I might do something a little later. I might schedule one of those, but yeah, I didn't schedule it for open panel tonight. Appreciate you though, Jerome. They were both their own worst enemy. Facts, FFS. All right, time for closing arguments, family. Time for closing arguments.
Mr. O'Neill, you need to speak audibly so that the jury can hear what you're saying.
Yes, ma'am, I haven't begun yet. I was talking to my father.
All right, hold on. Matter of fact, before we get to closing arguments, let's see. That's 1919. Let me see real quick. Let's play Old Girl Response real quick since we just heard him before we get to closing arguments.
He tried to make it seem like it was all about me. When you killed people, you killed them, but you want to make it about me.
He drove up farther more, and then that's when I jumped. It was on the up the hill. It was farther more, and then that's when he hit me, and I jumped out of his car. Well, his mother's car.
Where were you sitting when he hit you?
The passenger side front seat.
Where was he sitting?
Driver's side.
What did he use to hit you?
His hand.
Was it an open hand, a closed fist?
Yes.
And she was also cross-examined by Brooks.
The second incident on November 21st did not happen on Frame Park. We were driving around and he hit me.
What I'm asking is where you were at when you met him.
Frame Park, yes.
That's
not what you
on both
just
alleged
said.
occasions.
Yes. That's how Mr. Brooks knew where Frame Park is. He already knew Waukesha area in the first place.
I'm the one that had a gash on my face, a broken finger still. My leg is still messed up. I have all these marks on me still from him. And it's like everybody's sticking up for him. Nobody understands what I went through.
Gotcha.
They don't understand it.
So that was another question that was on here since you brought up your leg. So when your leg, I'm going off memory because I didn't record our conversation. But the other day when you called me and we talked for 20 minutes or whatever, you mentioned something about a broken leg. Now, did Daryl break your leg before the parade?
He ran me over November 2nd. Yes, he did. I had the night before. I was working at Hotel Metro. I had got off of work. I went to go get me a room. I didn't want to go back to him because he's freaking crazy. Is what happened. So I got me a room all night. He was talking, calling me, blah blah blah. Okay, and then the next day when it's almost checkout, because Daryl, I gave him the address. Like I said, you never know why you would, I gave him the address to the hotel. I forgot what hotel it was. It was on Appleton in Milwaukee. He came there and knocked on the freaking door, took my phone, punched me in my face. I ran down the street. He kept following me. And then we went to the gas station, the BP gas station. They have a video of this, of what he did to me. It's a video. It got recorded. He punched me again. I was bleeding everywhere. I still have the backpack and the damn shoes that he ran me over in. And after he punched me, I walked away. I would never expect him to run me over. I walked away and he ran me the over. He got charged with that. We still have cases for that. Our next court hearing is, I forgot, it's December 18th, I think it is. December something, for when he ran me over. We still have cases for this, but they would not let me bring it up.
Hold on. So this is not over. Right?
No, it's not over.
Hey, that's a fact. Just Lee said, how they let them interrogate their victims. This is crazy. That's a fact.
The obvious, Erica Patterson. I want you to know, if you're watching, I always have love for you. You're one of the mothers of my children. I can never hate you. I refuse to go that route. Always have love for you. I always respect you. We had a beautiful daughter. I haven't always been right in the things that I've said. things I've done in regards to you. What I will say is, it always takes two.
Yo, this dude is crazy. Yo, all right, let's get back to that. Oh, hold on. Let me play this little news clip real quick, and then we'll get to that end piece. Appreciate y'all being here. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, tap in, share with a friend. We about to play closing arguments after this 1-minute clip.
Now convicted of murdering his girlfriend, Kenyatta Barron, their 9-year-old daughter, as well as stabbing and setting fire to his 8-year-old son.
If you think I'm here to play around with y'all,
O'Neal took the unusual step of representing himself, often yelling at attorneys and the jury during this high-stakes murder trial.
I did kill Kenyatta Barron. But I want you to tell it like it is if you're going to tell it.
During a tense hour-long closing argument, O'Neal once again blamed government officials for distorting evidence, claiming they falsified a 911 call from his girlfriend. That call for help proving critical in the state's case against O'Neal, as Barron ID'd O'Neal as her attacker. After the verdict, Judge Michelle Cisco offered O'Neal a compliment for his efforts.
I think in another lifetime, you would have been an excellent lawyer. I really think that. You speak with great passion. I understood exactly the points you were making.
But then a warning, urging him to allow an attorney to step in and represent him as the trial moves into the penalty phase, where prosecutors...
All right, last little piece. Let's get to the closing arguments then.
90 years, how that could...
Here we go, family. Hope y'all ready. Yeah, let me hit that
Mr.
real
O'Neal, you
quick.
need to speak audibly so that the jury can hear what you're saying.
Yes, ma'am, I haven't begun yet. I was talking to my father.
He said he was talking to his father. That's why she didn't hear what he was saying.
He showed you a fraudulent recording where they allege that I beat Kenyatta Barron to death. He talked about Mr. Khalil Brown, my neighbor who stayed across the street. But if Mr. Khalil Brown was a help to them proving me guilty beyond reasonable doubt, they would have called Mr. Khalil Brown. But I called Mr. Khalil Brown to be a witness for me. And I didn't ask him to lie about one thing that he saw that night. I asked him to tell the jury exactly what he saw that night. And you have to ask yourself why that is. Because he's playing a fraudulent damn recording of me beating Kenyatta Barron 15 damn times when that did not happen.
Sub up to late night.
And like I told you earlier, you will know the truth, whether in this trial or the next one. Better believe it. Because if you think I'm here to play around with y'all, God damn it, I'm not.
All right, Mr. O'Neal, please stop using swearing language. It's not appropriate in a closing argument.
Now he played a recording that was sped up. Why didn't you play the regular recording that people can understand what the call was saying?
Objection to the defendant asking me questions, Your Honor.
I'm going to sustain
I'm talking to people.
Mr. O'Neill, listen, please just keep in mind this is not personal towards the prosecutors. Please keep your comments directed towards the evidence and the law. Thank you.
All these suggestions now. I know for a fact Kenyatta Barron's recording from her phone did not record calls sped up like that.
I'm going to object now. He's talking about facts, not in evidence of what he knows.
Again, ladies.
He said, I know for a fact. You know you can't say that. Yo, y'all is wilding in the chat, family. Y'all got me rolling. My bad. Let me play this.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, as you were instructed, the closing arguments are just that. They're not the evidence or the instruction on the law. It's just what the parties believe the evidence shows or does not show. All right? Thank you.
You heard Mr. Khalil Brown. You've been hearing me for 2 weeks now. Watch your mouth! They commit. You heard Mr. Khalil Brown. You've been hearing me for 2 weeks now, telling you that they committed criminal acts against me with the 911 calls and that fraudulent video that they just showed y'all. Now, I'm going to prove it to you. You heard Khalil Brown. He said that he...
All right, FFS and Jerome Street, y'all go to y'all corners now. Y'all go to y'all corners. We got to separate y'all. Appreciate y'all being here, family. What up, Texas T? What up, what up? Appreciate you tapping in, family. Much love.
He was actually sure that I only hit Kenyatta Barron 3 times. You heard. I called him to tell you that. I ain't running from nothing. They didn't call Khalil Brown to tell you that. I did. You have to ask yourself why that is. Because I want you to know the actual facts. I did kill Kenyatta Barron. I did kill Kenyatta Barron. But I want you to tell it like it is if you're going to tell it.
Opportunity to address the court. What, if anything, would you like to say, sir?
Yeah, I do have a lot to say. I'm gonna like to stand up if I may.
Go ahead.
Oh, now he crying. What happened to all that he was talking on the stand?
Opportunity to address the court. What, if anything, would you like to say, sir?
Yeah, I do have a lot to say. I'm gonna like to stand up if I may.
Go ahead.
Hey, you know how we do. We got to keep y'all entertained, Jerome. It's all love. We all good, family. FFS.
I apologize for taking so long. I want to start first. By giving glory to God. I believe in Jesus Christ wholeheartedly. I believe
They both from Jesus. They both follow Jesus Christ though. So I don't know if that relate to it, but that tell you something. I don't know.
believe that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. I believe that he was sent here by the Father to die for all of our sins. Everybody. Everybody in this courtroom today. Everyone walking this planet. Mostly for those of us who will believe. I believe that he was crucified on the cross at Calvary. And he shed his blood on that cross. And he died. And he was buried. And that he rose again after 3 days to glory. Took his glorious place at the right hand of the Father. The Bible says that he was exalted, given a name that is above all names, so that at the name of Jesus, every knee shall bow in heaven, on earth, and under the earth, and every tongue shall confess that Jesus is Lord, to the glory of God the Father. It's not just something that I was taught by my family. It's something I believe in my heart. I just want to clarify one thing. A lot of references was made to one of the things I...
Hey, ain't it crazy too how they both like the complete opposite. Like now he acting super remorseful. The other dude didn't show no type of remorse. But during their trial, they was both on one.
Said regarding my conscience being clear. And
Brooklyn said, "Are you live tomorrow, Survivor?"
About it last night, and to understand that the victims have the right to feel how they want to feel. They have the right to their opinions, and understanding that there's a lot of emotion, pain, frustration, anger, hatred, a lot of emotions. But I don't want that comment to be twisted.
We all good, family. Everything good.
I don't want that comment to become another narrative that's ran with and taken out of context. That comment was made is because I made the decision to rededicate my life to Christ when this tragedy happened. In no way did that comment refer to
yeah, come on through, Survivor. Help us get some what you call that? Damn, I can't even think of the word. Some posh. Never mind, I come back to it. But yeah, help us, Survivor. Help us get it together. Y'all want to drop the link? Let me see.
Not having any remorse, not having any understanding. It was strictly made to that point.
Order. That's the word I was thinking of. My bad. Help us get some order up in this mug. Cha Diggy holding it down, but she can only do so much by herself. Help us get some order.
That I have repented.
Order in the court.
That I have asked God for forgiveness. That I have sent many prayers up. Learning how to wrap my head around this whole situation has been extremely hard. Extremely hard. get minimal time to reflect in a place like this. But one of those minimal times that you get to reflect in a place like this is when you're alone in your cell.
That shit was deep. That shit was deep. Appreciate y'all being here, family. We almost up out of here. Yeah, that's a fact. Child Diggy, you right. Shit, y'all can go live if you want to see FFS and Jerome chop it up on the live. Y'all tap in to Mookie after I end my stream. He'll be going live tonight. So y'all make sure y'all go sub up so y'all can catch them live. Battling out, battle of the moderators, battle of the chatters.
When it's just you and the walls. One of the victims made a comment about trying to understand why this happened. That's a question I struggle with myself. The why, the how. That still a lot of issues there.
We almost there, family. We almost there. Just hold out a little bit longer.
Sometimes
I said we confused. Just we almost there, family. Just don't. We still driving. Let us park the car first. Let us land the plane.
I may have said things that you probably didn't really understand what I was meaning by it. I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer. I think sometimes my mind probably works a little faster than I can articulate something or pronounce something or say something. Obviously it would be hard to top what was already said about you thus far. You've gotten a incredible amount, a credible amount of love for your job in this matter. Some even said superhero. Some people, I'm sure you know this, but some people have even dressed up as you for Halloween.
Mr. Brooks, I'm not looking for accolades from anyone. I'm looking here today to sentence you in this case, and I'm frankly more interested in your thoughts on that than your opinion of me and how I conducted myself during this trial.
It wasn't my opinion on that part. I
have a job to do today. It's not an easy one. There's 76 counts. I'd like you, if you can and if you want, to tell me how you think I should do that. That's what the victim...
Everybody just take a deep breath. Just woo-sigh. Woo-sigh, everybody. Y'all, FFS and Jason, y'all stop talking to each other for now. We catch back up on the next time. Appreciate y'all, family. It's all love over here. We ain't about to do that. We almost up out of here. I was kind of joking, but we don't want to have none of this to get serious. So keep everything cool, family. Appreciate y'all.
Victims have stated that's what the state, right? They provided their recommendation.
The only thing I can say is one thing that should be taken into account is the time that I've served. Been here a year. That would pretty much negate count 76. So there's that. Your Honor, I'm confused. I don't understand the true nature and cause of the charges. So I can't really consent to being sentenced when I'm still trying to. I don't understand. It's not a delay tactic.
Nah, they not gonna be arguing over there. I'm just playing with y'all. I'm just messing around. But Mookie, drop the link. He will be going live. Y'all can go over there and check him out. Shout out to Mookie. Late night baking with Mookie. Y'all go sub up.
It's not attempting to be disruptive. It's not intended to stop the proceedings. It's my honest opinion. I have trouble with comprehension. I can say with 1,000,000% certainty that everything as far as in regards to me, everything should be looked at in its totality. The mental health issues, I believe that you've seen them rear their head at times. I believe that. I know that you've seen that rear its head at times. I also believe that you recognize the need for the help that's needed. You've seen things as far back as my childhood, and I believe that you understand the certain needs that would benefit where to start. Me myself, I don't know. There's so many issues that I've been trying to address for a long time. A very long time. And I don't know where to start. I have no idea. I can tell you that I want to be able to get to a point in my life where I can have the ability to recognize before it happens, when something could become out of control, before an outside source can maybe pinpoint it and say maybe something's wrong. I would want to get to a point where I can be able to recognize the signs on my own.
All right. I'm going to end this right there. Shout out to everybody. Appreciate y'all joining. Much love. Let me send a quick shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to Tack Clouds. Appreciate you, family. Shout out to Jerome Street. Shout out to FFS. Shout out to Joni 4. Shout out to Cha Diggy. Hold it down in the chat. I appreciate you, family, over here. Gotta be security tonight, huh? Too many drinks going around. Everybody to calm down, and I don't mean that towards nobody. I'm just saying that because we in the party, we clubbing. That's what I'm just referencing, that we in the club. But the party's over, doors are closed. Last call. Appreciate y'all. Y'all go tap in a late night baking with Mookie. The link right there. Y'all can go tap in. He'll be going live shortly. He on his way home. Appreciate you. Shout out to Survivor Speaks in the house. Much love, Survivor Speaks. Appreciate you, family. Chloe Albert's Revenge, hold it down. They will take your sins down 299 years from 300. It makes sense. Shout out to Chloe Albert's Revenge. Appreciate you. Tack Clouds, appreciate you. Texas T, what up? Appreciate you. Let me see. I'm seeing doubles now. Appreciate y'all, family. Much love. Oh, Just Lee. All the sponsors, I appreciate y'all. Definitely appreciate everybody who donated. FFS, appreciate the love. Definitely. Who else did? Dang, oh, it's on the screen. Just Lee, appreciate you. Let me see. Who else? Well, I'll name it as they come up. Texas T, I see you. Let me see. That's just doubles now. Doubles. Okay, appreciate y'all, family. We up out of here. Play a little bit of this intro on the way out. Then we out. Oh, yeah, JT. Shout out to JT. Holding it down. Appreciate you. Oh, laugh always. Have fun. Definitely. Appreciate you. Everybody else who donated and helped. Appreciate y'all, man. Much love. We out.
90 years, how that could potentially play a role in the course of his life.
I definitely think that there's some sort of mental health issue going on there. I don't know if he was tested for it. I do believe that if he tries to appeal, or if he hires someone to appeal, that's what they're going to.
You know, I want to show that regardless of anything, that there is still hope.
Maybe refresh your recollection.
Yeah.
May I approach?
Yes. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh my God, I'm so sorry.